Hi, everybody. Welcome to tonight's episode of Infinite Horizon, the season finale of season 2.
Ooh,
Ooh.
oh
That
my
was a silent
God.
scream.
Yeah, I figured.
Yep.
Here we are, everybody. We're here at the end, and barring the completely unexpected, this will be the end of the season. Yeah.
Hey guys,
So,
this is cool and all, but I think we should just go home.
Yeah.
I don't think let's just go back home.
Sorry, you're cutting out. Oh no, I'm going through a tunnel.
Listen, if we don't play, it'll be functionally the same thing as if the show ended, okay? You can't just put it off forever. We are here with not only the season finale of Infinite Horizon, but also the final stream, a TTRPG stream before our season break. So yesterday Into Deep had their season finale, which I am told was a lot.
I'm not
Huh?
surprised.
Yeah.
It was like I think they hit like 5 hours or just shy of 5 hours.
It
Because I
was-
was waiting
yeah.
for them to be done so that I could stream on my channel, but I was like, ooh, I waited like an hour and a half. I was like, I gotta get online.
Yeah. No, so they had quite the explosive season finale. So we're gonna be off of our TTRPG stuff for about 8 weeks, I think, is what it comes down to. So we'll be back
Yeah.
on September 1st with this show, season 3 of Infinite Horizon. So in the meantime, we will be doing Ramblemancy and Mass Effect streams and game streams as normal, as well as some one-off programming, such as the Rule of Lore Among Us stream, which is going to be happening next week. I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, so during that, you'll still see us. Some of us, maybe all of us at some point or another, will be here. But more relevant is that yeah, Colin. No, you're good. You're good, Colin. Y'all. It was a season finale. You do what you got to do. Let's see. So, as for our one-off programming that's going to be happening during the break, most relevant to tonight is that on July 23rd, instead of Ramblemancy, we will be having our season wrap-up. We'll be having a Q&A, and all those folks around me here that you see, they will be there, as well as John, and we'll be there yeah. We'll be there to answer your questions about the season and just sort of talk through our experiences this season. So yeah, a few weeks from now, spoiler ban will be over, so we can talk about the whole thing, all of it, beginning to end. Hashtag and John. But yeah, so that's coming up. So I'd say if you haven't already, start getting your questions prepped for that, because we'll be talking through all of this. We have as I mentioned before, the Rule of Lore Among Us stream will be next week, Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. We will have all the cast of Infinite Horizon, all the cast of Into Deep, hashtag and John. No, we'll have all of us there. Maybe all at the same time, maybe not. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
So yeah, join us for some. Like, I have no problem saying this ahead of time. There's going to be chaos. Like, that's going to be chaos.
Yeah.
There's nobody should be confused about that.
I'm going to murder everyone.
Nobody should be
You heard it
confused
here
about that either.
Don't clip that one out of context.
Yeah.
It was me, FBI. I mean it. I did
no.
it.
As Sam says, don't confess to crimes on the internet.
Yeah. Never.
Drac.
I'm proud of the crimes I've committed. Okay, I'm gonna list them out. Insurance frauds,
Well, This certainly took a turn. Watch as we just like go offline all of a sudden. Just they're coming.
Oh shit,
Uh,
they found me. You just see me.
Anyway, so
Great
yeah.
start.
Next so that's happening next Thursday. There may be some announcements coming down the line about where you might be seeing some of us elsewhere during the break, but we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that when we have something to talk about. So yeah, there will be some things. That's my announcement. Things. Do we have other big stuff to announce on the channel? I think that's everything. I think that's all of our big channel announcements. So, yeah. Anybody else have stuff they wanna go through real quick right now?
Power Play's back on Sunday. Full cast.
Hey.
It's been a few weeks. And I'm very excited. Probably me dealing with the consequences of the things I have fed one Rick Bud, but it's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun. Come watch us. Q Times, twitch.tv/Q Times at 5 p.m. Pacific.
Awesome.
I think that's all I got. Oh, I'm streaming again.
I was
on
gonna
my
say,
channel.
yeah.
Yes.
That's exciting too. I streamed on Tuesday. I'm gonna stream again next week. We'll find out when I decide to do that. Probably I liked Tuesdays, so we'll see how that goes. But keep an eye on my Twitter. I'm streaming again. Woo!
Awesome.
For me, the main things I want to announce that are going to be different since we're going to have like an 8-week break before I'm on here again, is one. I already tweeted. I thought it was going to be a secret, but apparently we just allowed to tweet it. Apparently, but I forgot to play in a one shot with Brennan Lee Mulligan over on Three
Yeah,
Black Halflings, and that's going to be coming out on their podcast in sometime in August. You see the character creation if you join the Patreon, but then the actual game itself is going to just be on their podcast. So keep an eye out, keep an ear out for that. A ton of fun, absolutely ridiculous. Also, we're going to be back with season 2 of From Dusk Till Dark. I believe on July the 27th. It was going to be the 20th, but we pushed it back a bit, so you have extra time for like character art and all of that. But it's going to be on July 27th. That's a Tuesday from 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern, I think it is. Yes, 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern. So keep an eye out for that. I'm very excited. We left that a cliffhanger. My character has a knife at his throat, so we have to figure out how that's going to resolve. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it. Other than like my normal streams, you can just follow me on Twitter to find out about those. But yeah. Oh wait, also I'm guesting on I'm guesting on Saving Throw show next Sunday. In their new Pantheons game. I'm gonna be playing. I'm gonna be guessing there.
Nice.
So I get to be anime as hell, which I'm very excited about. And
I feel like that was like made for you to go be on that.
Yeah.
They're very anime season this one.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I've thought about this for a very long time. So I was like, they were like, "Hey, you wanna play?" I was like, "Yes, here's my idea. Here you go."
Drac is typing like, immediately.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's so cool. Yeah, awesome. Other
Oh wait,
things?
one more
Oh,
thing.
one more
I
thing.
just remembered.
Yes.
Every Thursday, I'm also on Saber and Throw show. I play with Dom. We play Dark Alliance together with Dom, Eric, and Bill Roper, and we play Dark Alliance. We almost play in character. Eric is way more dedicated to playing in character than anyone else, but it's a ton of fun. So you should come hang out, check that out. That's it.
Amazing. Other things? Anyone wanna? No. Follow Remy on Twitter.
Yes, follow Remy on
Yeah,
Twitter.
that's my announcement.
Yeah. All right. Well, if there's nothing else.
Oh god,
Oh.
wait, that means we actually have to play now.
Wait. I do have one more thing. One more thing that I failed to mention, although I think it has been mentioned elsewhere. But this week there is no Ramblemancy and no
yeah.
Mass Effect stream. So like this is actually the last stream of the week. So, so that's a fun thing that I'm gonna leave you all with. That's it. That's all.
Ominous.
There's nothing
This is the
ominous
last
about this
stream
at all.
ever.
It's just the season finale and the last stream of the week. I don't know what you're talking about, Caitlin.
A lot of pressure. I know.
Wait, someone come up with more announcements. We have to deal with consequences of our actions.
I am breathing right now.
My announcement is I'm happy to be here.
Aw.
Aw. It's not gonna save you, Olivia. I'm sorry. All right, let's start the episode. And welcome back. When we that just registered. When we let's try that again. This season on Infinite Horizon, the crew began searching for Silverbreak's prime conduit, driven by information from Teon about a destructive time anomaly in the future that had originated in this time with some connection to the corporations. Driven to find any advantage that might help the Resistance in their fight against the Corps, Peach began searching the artifact for remnants of the powers she had unlocked on Sulon. Entirely by accident, Peach contacted what seemed to be an older version of Olim and received an ominous warning about an impending war for consciousness itself. With the tension mounting, the crew set out to rescue Alma in an effort to reunite with their lost crew member and follow up on their only lead to the prime conduit. After rescuing her, the crew's path took them all across the galaxy, setting small fires of rebellion against the megacorps and making alliances to aid the resistance. Amidst the chaos of a fledgling resistance, the crew heard whispers of Damian Ellis gathering artifacts for some unknown machinations. On a mission that took them into dark space, the crew encountered a dangerous, formless being called Figment that commanded a small army of the Warped. Most notably, Damian Ellis. The crew escaped Figment's Warped and sought haven and information from the Voxora, where they learned that beings similar to Figment had resulted in the destruction of the Voxora's original home. With barely a moment to catch their breath, the crew received word that the bulk of the Commonwealth and Ascendancy's fleets were bearing down on Silverbreak's prime conduit, and worse, that Damian Ellis and therefore Figment would be testing the prime conduit soon. The crew raced to Silverbreak's Arc 1 research facility and boarded the prime conduit's control station as the Commonwealth and Ascendancy fleets began tearing into each other around the massive ring structure. Inside, the crew dealt with a small force of corporate security who were clearly warped before meeting up with another team of powered resistance fighters led by Zaya. The resistance fighters directed the crew along a route through the station's drone foundry, which would allow them to bypass further resistance from corporate security. The drone foundry was devoid of security, but it held a greater threat, a trio of powered individuals led by the crew's psychokinetic nemesis from Krenai. They fought and lit the foundry with bursts of light, lightning, and chronokinetic energy, until the crew managed to destroy or subdue all three of the supers. Rushing to the station's control room, the crew interrupted the prime conduit startup sequence, thereby stalling Ellis and Figment's plan. They returned to Awakener as the most devastating fleet engagement in over 1,000 years continued to rage around the conduit. With little time to waste, the crew boarded the now deactivated prime conduit to set explosives in key locations and make sure Figment's plans would never reach fruition. However, as they began exploring the ring, the influence of so many artifacts in one place began to exert itself, and the crew found themselves suddenly elsewhere. As the world around them resolved into the apartment on Sulon that had served as their base of operations many months ago, they became aware that they weren't alone. Sitting on the sill of the bay window of the apartment, as if he had been waiting for them, was the elder Olim, who greeted them by saying, "I think it's time we talked here at the end of all things." And that is where we left off. So, in this moment, y'all are starting to notice that details are resolving a little bit more clearly around you. The stain on one of the walls of the apartment that y'all had noticed when you were there just sort of seems to almost form into being, almost as you look at it. Almost as if looking for any touchstone of something to confirm that this is not the real place, or maybe that it is. And it's like every time you look for a detail, it just manifests exactly as you remember it. As the group of you stand in the apartment facing this elder Olim, likely in his 50s, maybe even his 60s, you can see kind of the lines at the corner of his eyes and around his mouth as he regards all of you slowly. Maybe it's hard to read, but maybe gauging reactions. He reaches up to his glasses and just sort of adjusts them. He says, It's good to see you.
Do I see and what do I feel right now?
Hmm?
What do I see and what do I feel right now?
You see the apartment and you see Olim. You're aware that that none of it... You're not sure whether it's real or not, but you do know that it's not the apartment.
Mhm. And do I feel anything from him?
You feel Olim both familiar and unfamiliar.
Has been a while.
Right now he's sort of carefully neutral in terms of mood.
You're much older than I remember.
That's because I'm not the Olim that you knew. I'm not really sure exactly where to begin on this one.
I mean, the beginning is always a nice place to start.
The beginning. That's a little more complicated than you would think.
I mean, with time, yeah, I can see that.
I am... at this point, he looks at you, Taeon. Says, I am your Olim. Older. But I am the Olim from the future that you left behind. The one that you left when you first came to meet us.
How did you get
But-
here? Probably not a simple answer either.
No, I'll make my way to it.
Where did you go then? In my timeline, I think I mentioned it to all of you. All of you disappeared, including you.
You came and found us. You, and even older you. You came and you told us You warned us about terrible things. An army from beyond. You came and you told us that everything that we'd worked for years of our lives ever since waking up on that ship, that it came to nothing because we were too busy fighting the wrong war. And so, it wasn't a decision that we came to easily, but ultimately we decided to have you send us back. Send us somewhere where we could make a difference, where we could break the cycle of time. In this moment, you watch as the Olim in front of you, he stands up and starts pacing the room in a very, very Olim-like way, sort of fussing with his coat, just sort of fidgeting with the ends of it. You can see as he puts one hand behind his back and just sort of starts adjusting his glasses obsessively. We, all of us, learned of a terrible threat. The war I warned you about, Peach. The war for consciousness. There was no way to fight it because it was a war that was being fought on so many fronts and whose perpetrators were running things from places we couldn't reach, dimensions beyond our understanding. Beings like Figment. But worse. Worse because they still maintained what sanity they could have been credited with. Figment came through dimensional walls a long time ago. Beings like Figment can't exist here. Not in our dimension. Not without some form of protection, and Figment, being the first, didn't know. And so, they were consumed with the agony of consciousness in a world they were never meant to inhabit. It would be a bit like us trying to survive in space without a suit. We just simply weren't designed for it. But we knew we had to do something because more like Figment would be coming. Beings from that dimension, these consciousnesses, these collectives, they were and are simply offshoots of something far bigger. They are the only inhabitants of their dimension, and they have claimed mastery over it. Now they seek the same here. To turn our universe into a blasted hellscape. The same as they did to their own. And we're the vehicles. Those of us who've been touched by the artifacts, and you see as he sort of shakes his head, almost like he's trying to clear it.
Are you okay?
It's difficult to explain, but you'll understand momentarily. We, the crew of Awakener, we traveled to the source. We traveled to this place. The dimension that these beings are from. We almost died in the process. Just as they weren't meant to exist here, we weren't meant to exist there. The agony of being a corporeal being in a dimension of pure thought, consciousness. But something found us. A being that's like a source. The source of Figment and the others like them. The one that calls themselves Entity. The others, like Figment, they came from Entity. Like a snake shedding its skin, and then that skin taking on a life of its own. Pale copies of the original, but aware. They blame Entity for their state, for existence, for awareness. Until we met Entity, they had no awareness that beings like us from here even had any sort of sapience, awareness. The artifacts. The artifacts are what happens when a being from another dimension, like Entity, passes through our own. It's how Entity perceived us and how they sought to understand where we came from. Not knowing that we were here, or if they did, not knowing that we were beings like them. Beings of awareness. The artifacts, the pieces of Entity that pass through this dimension, they change the world around them. They change the very fabric of the universe. But it's not through intention. They just are. It took everything that we had to get Entity to understand this, to recognize us as sapient beings. And in the end, there was only one way. At this point, you see as the image of Olam in front of you just sort of ripples and changes. And suddenly you see standing in front of you, you see Mason, older, probably in his 50s or so. Not like the Mason that you saw from the other universe. No scar, just aged. And in the end, the only way to get Entity to understand was to interact with them in the only way that they knew how, which was to become part of them. We we are entity.
Does it hurt? What?
Are you still you?
We are. And we're not. What remains of us is now part of entity. It's important that you understand all of this because it has bearing on what's happening right now. Right where you are. The form changes again, and you see Peach, largely unchanged.
Hmm.
See. Things are moving quickly now. This prime conduit, it's not what Figment thinks it is. Figment might have been one of the first to come through, but they weren't the only one. Figment's been manipulated from the start by another one of their kind, one who did manage to find, for lack of a better term, a suit. This whole thing, Figment thinks it's going to be some way of silencing the galaxy and making the galaxy like them and warp everyone so that everything will finally be silent and they can finally go back to sleep, but it won't. That's not what it was designed to do. This conduit is designed to punch a hole into that other dimension. To let the others through.
Who's pulling the strings then?
I'm not sure. None of us are.
How
We
much
know
time is left?
right now, here where we are, time is irrelevant. We pulled you out of time so that we could have a moment. In your time, however, not long.
Is it going to be as simple as destroying it?
Unfortunately, no. We'll get to that, but there's more that you have to understand. The conduit punching a hole isn't enough. They need hosts. Aboard the facility, there is a room filled with more like yourselves, like us. Those of us who were exposed to the artifacts and changed. The standard warped aren't enough. There's not enough of them left to act as suitable hosts. It has to be the ones like us. Like you.
We need to rescue them then, right?
Eventually. But it should be enough just preventing this conduit from opening at all. Now, the others, they've been able to plan this because they were able to see, to perceive your dimension through our sensors, through the artifacts. In some cases, hijacking them entirely.
That's how we spoke before.
It is. The others will not be. This will never stop unless we stop it permanently, and there is only one way to do that, and that is that we must seal off my dimension from yours forever.
Can we do that with this conduit somehow?
We can. It requires you see the figure change again, and you see now Bina standing there. Some of the sort of iridescence that on her sort of carapace that indicates aging amongst Orzai. It means that we're going to have to. I need to be pulled in first. I need to be pulled in so that the entirety of my being is in the artifacts on that conduit. When you destroy it, we have to be there. We are the bridge.
How do we go about making that happen? Is that on you, or do we have to bring you to these artifacts somehow?
I should be able, momentarily, with your help, and she looks at Peach.
Mhm.
You who know better than any how to tap into the artifacts. I should be able to do it with your help. I'll
Yeah.
only have a little bit of time.
And you all will be sealed too.
Yes. And there's one more thing. This is not something that comes without consequence. Grave consequence. And at this point, you can see that she changes again and becomes Alma, older as well. And she turns and looks at you, Taeon. She says, Taeon, the only reason we're this close to saving everything is because of you. Because you came back and you did what you did. And you unfortunately have the highest price to pay. One that you've already done and didn't even know you were doing it. Maybe you suspected it already, but the future that you came from, your time, it doesn't exist anymore. I'm sorry. But that future is no longer there. But the thing is, it's not your fault. You didn't do it. It was us. We did it. We changed everything so that this could be ended once and for all. So that we could break the cycle of time.
Well, I'd hate to disappoint myself. Apparently this is all part of my plan.
You genius.
Yeah, I always thought of myself as one. But for this to work out, what do we have to give up anything else?
Not as such. I want you to understand. We want you to understand the full extent of what you must now do. Destroying the conduit in this way, with all the artifacts, shattering them, will create the anomaly that you came seeking.
I had a feeling.
Just another thing to take care of later, right?
Yeah. Do you know how to stop it when it does happen?
This is something that is beyond what we've seen.
I wish there was a way we could get it to consume itself like it did in the small version.
That can be a bridge we cross when we get there, but seems like we have a very, very clear route, at least for now, of what we need to do.
At least then we don't have to search for the anomaly. We'll know exactly where it is.
Yeah. It stays in the same time anyway.
Thank you for coming here. Thank us. Thank Entity. It's getting a little tricky. Is there anything else?
From this point on, all of the manipulations of the beings from this place, the beings like Figment, your universe will be freed from it.
What will the abilities be gone?
There's no way to know, but it's unlikely. The important thing is this. Your universe has not been without this influence in a very long time. There is no knowing what is to come, and it will no longer be influenced. It will be up to you, up to all of you, the beings of your universe, to determine where things go. But this will also Figment will likely be destroyed. If you are careful and if you are quick. Figment will also be destroyed in all of this, but the one who was manipulating him will be unaffected. They will be cut off from their home. They will be trapped in yours. And there is no telling what that will drive them to do.
Honored animals can be very dangerous.
Do you know where they are or what hosts they've taken up?
The only thing we know is that they have an enormous amount of influence in the corporations. It's the only way any of this was possible.
How do you end a being like that?
Beings like Figment and the others, they are creatures of collective consciousness. They inhabit the warped, those that they brought into the fold. But there are nodes, beings that they bonded with, in particular, those that they used as agents of their will. One of these beings of collective consciousness cannot be destroyed fully until all of the nodes have been destroyed.
Mhm. Then I suppose we have to destroy those nodes.
Good thing we have
Again,
a
a bridge.
galaxy. Good thing we have the best detective in the galaxy, right?
That's right.
You watch as the form once again shifts, and it is Olim again. And he turns to all of you and just says, you can stay here until you're ready to go back. For now, you're in a moment outside of time. But once you go back, the clock starts ticking again, and you'll need to move fast.
How much? And I guess there's also above game question, but I'm going to ask in character. We've been through quite a bit of a battle already. Would taking time in a timeless place help at all?
Not in the way that you mean it.
I
what
thought
you
so, but
what you gain here, you can't take back with you. The only thing I can buy you is time. You see as the form shifts once more back to Alma this time. And she walks over to you, Bina. And she just sort of reaches out her hand towards you. Palm
Take it
up.
immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She says, I wish I'd told you sooner. She smiles and doesn't say anything else. She just reaches up and just puts her hand on the side of your face. And then she just slowly vanishes, leaving you all in the apartment.
Well,
Wow.
yeah.
Guess the mystery's solved, Taeon. You know where we went in your future.
Yeah, and
I don't think that was in the betting pool, huh?
no, it wasn't. We looked for you all for quite a while, so I'll be honest, I kind of thought and just accepted you all died. I mean, I'm glad that wasn't the case.
If anything, it sounds like now they aren't going anywhere anytime soon. They just won't be here. We just won't be here. You're right, this is weird.
Yeah.
Because, right, in them doing... Or do we need to do that now? In our future? Or does
No.
that mean that... I'm gonna, like, overthink for a second.
No, I think that's a very separate timeline from now at this point.
Well, now it's like a pie that
Yeah,
you dropped.
exactly. And we made a
Another
new
one.
pie to
Yeah.
replace that pie that we dropped. But we wouldn't have made that new pie if we hadn't have dropped it. So it's still connected, but not in the same way. It's
Yeah.
still very different. Yeah.
You know what? That actually makes sense this time. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, I was actually practicing
Yeah.
with Ada how to explain this better.
Well, I mean, I'd do it again if I had to.
Hopefully, we won't.
Okay, so did we get schematics of this conduit while we were on the research vessel? I don't remember. I got some schematics.
That is
but I don't...
no. That's why
No, we
you have
didn't.
the. That's why you have the caretakers here with you.
Caretakers.
Yeah,
that
it
is
just
correct.
shows around.
Okay. Are they in here with us?
Not in here, no.
Okay, I was like, all right, you guys got a fun little show.
Oh wait, I'm gonna turn to CT and go. I know this is a lot. I realized I actually probably didn't
yeah,
explain like
hi.
half of this stuff to
You
you.
also did not know any of this, just so you know. Like,
Yeah,
this
a
is
lot of this
news
is
to
news to us
us, too.
Yeah.
It is simply enough to just take this all in at the moment, I believe.
Above table, I'm wondering if CT, because CT has this like info gathering and assessment thing, if you've been able to fill in the gaps
I
along
think
the way here. I think you
probably
could.
so. Yeah.
Love the idea that you're like, yeah, you filled in the gaps and you're pretending that you haven't just to placate us, being like,
Yeah.
I'm really
CT
sorry
has
I
like the
haven't told you."
conspiracy board going. and, you
He's
know.
just pinned the last red thread and has got it, like has got the whole picture.
Yeah, it's like,
Taking
I'm
us
good, I'm
this
got
long,
it. I'm
CT
on
gets
it.
it in a week.
Yeah, it took you guys 2 seasons. CT got it in like less than 10 minutes. Like,
Yeah, exactly. We're
he's
good.
got
We're
it.
good. We're good. Ugh. Okay.
Well, I think it's a very weird thing to say in a place that's apparently timeless, and also in a situation where a lot of time travel has taken place. But I think there's no time like the present.
Mm.
I don't think we can be any more prepared for what we're about to do. So we probably should
Talk to
get
the
started.
caretakers. Who
Yeah.
tell us where to go. Blow some shit up.
Create the anomaly.
Over under. What's the chance? If it like I don't know for some reason need to happen that we could talk to Figment. If we need a second, if they'd listen to us.
I mean, I could maybe stall for a second.
I mean, hey, you're being puppeteered by something bigger and stronger
Yeah.
than you. That's
Mhm.
not gonna. This isn't gonna go the way you think it is. Even if they don't believe you, I mean, that's something. Maybe keep
Yeah.
that in the back pocket.
I think that's a good idea.
The absence of a Mr. Ellis among all of the previous proceedings is certainly something to keep in mind while we move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else?
This is above game. Can I? Is the energy or like the? I could best working to think of as vibe, but I feel like with vibe check being a thing that sounds really awful at this point. But like, is there an energy or vibe that I was able to clock onto, like a signature of whatever dimension, the Olim Bina, the older Olim Bina, and all of that came from right now? Like a different flavor of space-time, you know, like it's still space-time, but it's not
Yeah.
our space-time.
They taste
Interesting.
a little different.
Spicy space.
Yeah, like, ooh, this one's a bit
Interesting.
spicy.
I was recently reminded that that at some point, well established in the canon of rule of lore, time tastes like burnt rubber and sadness. So like, that is, I was recently reminded of this.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I remember.
I was gonna ask what sadness tastes like, but then you already said it tastes like space, so I don't.
Yeah,
know.
exactly. I don't know what's confusing about this.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, interesting. I'm gonna have you make a roll for me.
Yeah, I'll do it.
This is gonna be an intellect roll, and the difficulty on this is going to be. I think the difficulty is gonna be 8.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's fair.
space taste check.
Yeah.
Time taste check?
Both.
They're
Oh.
intertwined. They're
Both.
intertwined.
Yeah, space time. Yeah.
Ask him to come
ooh.
back to just give him a lick or something.
Like, hey, could you just come over real quick? Would this count as? I mean, it's all knowledge, and I feel this counts as knowledge, right?
Yes.
Would this be acknowledged? Okay, so
Yeah.
1 power shift in intelligence to bump
Okay.
it down. So that's a 7 now.
Yep.
I only have 1 in that, so I'm gonna put. For me to be able to roll, I have to bump it down to a 6. I'm gonna put 3 levels of effort into it. So that's a.
Difficulty
So
4.
first one's a 3 spend, and then a 2 after that, right?
Yep.
Okay, so it's 7, and an edge takes that out, so 3. Okay, so down to a 4.
Yeah, you need
Then
a
you
12
roll
or
a
better.
12
right
or
now.
better.
Mhm.
Yeah, I want to roll.
Okay.
Oh, and I just realized I have. Yeah, already took edge into account. Okay, cool. I am going to re-roll
Oh!
Okay.
because I want this. I rolled a 9.
Okay.
And that 20. Because
You know
What
everything.
does that space taste like, GM?
There is something, Taeon, as you start you start running through everything that Entity just told you, sort of parsing through it. Something about it tells you that the answer that you're looking for, it's in there somewhere, and you start going through it, and you start thinking about it, and you start thinking, if the cycle of time was broken by them going there, talking to Entity, maybe changing some things throughout time, influencing things here and there, wherever they touched. But they still exist, so that must mean that they have to be connected, which means that in order for there not to be a paradox, I mean, that timeline would have to exist and continue to perpetuate. Only if it doesn't exist anymore, then that means... And as you start kind of looking through this, you start realizing that means that the space, the dimension that they inhabit, must itself be out of time.
Cool.
And as you start thinking about that, you start realizing if that dimension where entity is from is out of time, and they pulled you for a moment out of time, then that must be what this is. And as you realize that, you start looking around. And as you start having that realization, Taeon, for you, for nobody else, but for you, the space around you changes. And suddenly, you're standing in the resistance base from your future, from your time, your original time. Looking around, it's empty, but you are seeing it right now. This is the staging room for your ops that you and your team would spend hours in, cleaning equipment, maintenancing things, talking over the mission to come, debriefing. And just as you think that, it shifts again, and suddenly you're in your childhood home, the one that you only barely remember. And then it changes again, and you're standing in the cave, in those ruins on Desh. And as you see that, you suddenly see, you can still see your companions around you, but they, seemingly unaware of this, you watch a younger, much younger Taeon, just a boy, crawl into the room through one of the smaller half-collapsed passages, slide down the pile of debris and wander over to the center of the room, where there is a plinth that has sort of been shifted as the tectonics of Desh have shifted in the centuries, maybe millennia, since this place was inhabited. You can see as it's sort of off kilter. And you watch as that younger you walks over to it, Taeon. And you remember it. And at once you perceive it, both as yourself now watching it and also as the child, Taeon. You watch as he runs his fingers over the melded stone of that plinth, and you feel it on your own fingertips, that smooth stone. And then you watch both the way you remember it from your perspective and from a new perspective that you've never seen it before. You watch as a rift just opens seemingly in the very fabric of the universe. And you yourself, Taeon, watch as that younger you is suddenly engulfed by this tendril of black, viney, almost looking matter, particulate matter that seems to spike out almost like a glitch in reality, that reaches out towards you and just engulfs the younger you for a moment. But it doesn't destroy you, and it doesn't consume you. In fact, it doesn't even touch the younger you. It just swirls for a moment around you. And as the younger you sort of shifts in place, you can see as he slips on unstable ground in front of him and pitches forward, and you watch as one part of that tendril touches the side of his face, and you watch as that section of scales around the younger you's eyes age instantaneously. And in that moment, you hear him cry out. And then suddenly you're back in the apartment on Sulan. The one thing that's certain, Taeon, is whatever this place is, you know that this is the place that the others disappeared to.
I think we should get going.
Yeah. Like you said, no time like the present. Or something.
Yeah.
Beanie's gonna hold out all 4 of her hands to all 4 of her friends and give everybody a little squeeze and just be
Yeah.
like, whatever happens, you guys are super cool. Let's do this.
Feelings mutual.
Yes, you are all exemplary people.
I'm okay.
Do not attempt to contradict me, please.
Mason's just like, oh, got it.
I love you
You had
guys.
C2.
Let's go save the galaxy, I guess.
Us and
I mean,
us.
the universe.
The universe. Whew. Did not sign up for this. Do we
Happy
like
accidents.
happy
I'm gonna try and pull. I mean, now that I have the feel for this place, can I try and pull us out? I mean,
You have that thought, and as you think about it, you kind of glance over. It's like your attention, all of you, your attention is drawn towards the apartment door.
oh, I think. I mean,
That's-
yeah.
It's the exit.
The obvious answers.
Quite courteous guess.
Yeah, and Taeyeon is gonna go through the door. Swing the door open and go through first.
Yep. You open the door, and as it does, there's this brief moment where this sort of kind of scintillating white light, almost as if the light through a pool of water, reflecting through a pool of water, reminiscent, very clearly reminiscent of that you have seen, those of you who've looked into the artifacts have seen at their core. And then suddenly, you're all standing once again in the exact spot, in the exact moment on the prime conduit. You see as Ada turns and looks at you, Taeyeon. She goes, "Sorry. I feel like they tilt their head and look at you, Taeyeon, with a very confused expression on their face. Did you say something?"
No, no, but I think we lost a bit of time. So are you ready?
Yeah. She's still kind of like her concerned gaze sort of lingering on you for a second, still seemingly a little bit confused, and then she turns back to the human Aramis, who is standing shoulder to shoulder with the caretakers, and he nods to all of you and says, "There should be different certain control nodes around here. Those are the places where they will be the most vulnerable."
Perfect. Do we want to stick together? It might be the best option, even if we are a bit short on time.
Let's go with that.
It is certainly the safer option.
Right. So, as all of you begin following Aramis and the caretakers through the structure, we're gonna take our break a little bit early.
Oh,
Um,
oh,
So,
man.
Boy.
Okay.
so, we'll be back in just a few minutes, and continue on with the rest of this finale. We'll see you in just a little bit, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. We are back from our break. Appropriately, me blatantly ignoring Olivia making fun of me. Just so you all know, when we're not live on screen, I get bullied behind the scenes. Just so that you all know.
I mean,
I
yeah.
wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
I know
Wasn't
you
like-
wouldn't say that.
I mean, when you do go to like recap screen while you're like reading your recap and being like a professional, the rest of us are fucking around.
See, I'm so glad that I can't see you when you're doing that.
Oh no, you're glad you are. You are this time.
Freeman was just like, Freeman had a pen in his beard and was just like twirling it in his beard. It was
Incredible.
great.
Okay, so
You mean we have to deal with things? Okay.
What?
yes.
Oh yeah.
So when we left off, y'all had just come back from the Mind Palace. No, from the sort of
The break room.
the break room, the interdimensional break room that you were pulled into by entity who explained
The interdimensional breakout session in a Zoom class.
yeah. It took you and explained what you're up against, explained the stakes of your current situation. Now you are in the prime conduit, going to set explosives at key locations to destroy it. So, as you are walking through the conduit itself, let's see. I'm sorry. I'm just going to put this together real quick.
That brisk stroll.
Yeah.
Got a gun out.
Oh, shield up. Fine, because I always forget to do
There
it
you
in
go.
combat and then I don't want to take an action to do it. I've got a little light shield that comes up.
Perfect.
Resilience.
All right. So, as y'all make your way through this conduit, you see that there are sort of offshoot of corridors that go off of the main one. The main one, because of the shape of the conduit, following the curvature of the conduit, giving this illusion that you are at the bottom of a hill at all times. So as you look in one direction along the corridor, it sort of slopes up away from you, but looking back the other way, it does the same. Constantly providing the illusion that you are walking uphill, but never actually gaining any ground. And as
Is
you,
it dark in here?
it's pretty dim. It's
Okay.
lit by sort of more like emergency lighting type lighting. So it's sort of this reddish lighting that is, I'd say, like Taeon is accustomed to that sort of lighting, being a chemoth, but for many of the rest of you, it might be a little bit harder to see.
I know I'm like good. I can
Yeah,
see
yeah,
forever
you're
now
good.
and anything, and Mason might be able to see. And actually CT might
Yeah,
be able to
maybe.
see. I don't know. But
Yeah.
does anybody is anybody gonna
No,
be
it's like it's not a
having
hindrance or
any
anything like that.
detriment? Okay.
No,
cool.
it's
That's
it's not
what I
gonna
was
like
trying
you don't have to like feel your way around in the dark or anything like that. It's just it's just a little dim.
We're in a dark room, and you can basically get the shape and shadow of a lot of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, essentially. So, as you move through this unfamiliar network, you can hear just sort of like a vague chittering and thrumming from the caretakers. And at one point, Aramis notes your attention, Bina, on them, and he says, They are confused. The structure is similar to that of other conduits, but it's strange to them, built by those who did not understand the structure, the logic of the conduits.
It's fake. It's shaped like one, but doesn't have the guts of it.
Precisely.
Is it anything they can pick up on that might be good?
I believe so. In order for this to be a functional conduit, it must have certain similarities to the real ones. Up here, and he points ahead towards where you can see there is a doorway. Like there's no door in it, but there is sort of an opening in the corridor. And he points and says, "This is the first of the key locations." So as you make your way over to it, kind of glancing inside, you see a bunch of unfamiliar tech inside this room. It doesn't appear to be. It looks, if anything, the closest analogous sort of thing that you can come to is it looks kind of like a generator room almost, but with none of the things that you would expect to find in a generator room. Just a bunch of unfamiliar tech installments. But there is one thing in here that all of you immediately recognize on sight, and that is an artifact.
Looks like we found the first spot.
Yeah. Give me a sec. I'm gonna reach into. I don't know. I probably have like a little bag that I kept all the explosives in, and I'm gonna like set the charge. I'm gonna get as close as I can before I feel it like reaching out, or I guess like almost like narrowing my vision. And I'll probably stop wherever that starts, and I'm gonna set the explosive down there.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't take very long. You get within probably about within about 3 feet from it or so, before you start kind of feeling like, not so much like any kind of tunnel vision or anything like that, but more like you start feeling like a sense of vertigo almost, where it, like your perception of the room sort of starts to swirl a little bit. But yeah, you managed to sort of set down.
It should be enough. Okay, I'm just gonna like set it down there. And another thing about it, I don't even know if we. I mean, it's a charge, a set charge, so it's something that we can detonate remotely, right? Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he'd set that down.
Okay.
Maybe even reach his arm out as close as he can to the thing without getting any closer, and just set it down there. No, every inch might help. But yeah, and sets the charge down.
Okay.
That's as close as I'm willing to risk getting, but the power of the charge shouldn't change too much at this distance from this artifact.
Okay. So I'm going to offer a group intrusion here. And here's the thing. Normally I don't tell you anything about the intrusion itself. Right now, I'm going to tell you that this intrusion is twofold, which is why I'm offering it as a group intrusion. So,
I mean, I refuse to ever say no to an intrusion again. So I'm saying yes to on my end.
I vote yes.
I'm intensely curious.
Oh man, me too.
that's
Yes.
what I'm counting
Do
on.
it.
Yeah. I want to know what is twofold.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
seriously.
So go ahead and everybody mark down an XP. At this moment, Taeyeon, you're the closest to the artifact, so nothing changes for you as far as your perception, but as you are kind of finished setting the charge and you stand up and turn away, you feel like that kind of soldier's instinct kicks in, and you start feeling like you are being watched at this moment. And like you can feel like your scales just sort of like twitching, just sort of like as you sort of bunch your shoulders a little bit, in reaction.
And I feel whatever you're feeling, so.
Yeah.
You just see he's already on guard, but you just feel it all of a sudden become even more tense and like, I don't know, I guess the best way I can think of it is soldier-like he's ready to go jump into
The
action.
interesting thing is, anybody who is observing the caretakers would notice that they have become very agitated. And they're just sort of like, their movements usually are very sort of sporadic and kind of happening in these sort of spurts of movement where they just sort of dart around. Well, now they're doing it's usually very purposeful, but right now they seem to be almost like just milling about the room. They appear to be very agitated, and the thrumming louder than you've heard them doing. And before any of you can fully kind of react to this, you just hear, as you feel the room fill with the presence of Figment. You can feel the crushing weight of it as their entire attention is focused on all of you. And then it's gone. And then, hold on, I need to find this thing because this is really important. I've been saving this up for like such a long time for this specific thing. I need to find it.
Oh no, fear.
Here we go. You, Bina, y'all, all of you actually start receiving transmission. The signal is weak. And like it's definitely got some interference, but you hear Alma. Problem. We're being we can to get out of. We need help. You need to get out of there as soon as you can. Something changed out. They know.
Well, time is of the essence. Where's the next location?
You wish to ignore the distress signal from the Awakener in such a way?
I haven't.
I think we might have to split.
I can deal with everything that's going on in the conduit if anyone wants to join me.
I will join you.
I will likewise join. However, there seems to be a split in the needs of other individuals that are relying upon us.
Can I use the remote viewing to see Awakener, to like see through what's going on there?
Yeah.
Because I've been there before,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
that's the distance viewing.
Yeah. So remind me again how that works.
Yeah. Let me grab it's a place that I've been before. I basically create a sensor that I can see out of that lasts like I think an hour or something like that.
Okay.
But let me just pull it up really quick. Yeah. You know that space and distance are illusions. You concentrate to create an invisible, immobile sensor at a location you have previously visited or viewed. Sensor lasts for 1 hour.
Okay. Yeah.
You can concentrate to see, hear, and smell through the sensor.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, you can just do that. I'm not gonna make
My
you
edge
roll.
now eats the entire 5 intellect spent. So
Amazing.
I could just do that.
You can just do that. So yeah, you find yourself in what's a where in Awakener?
I want to be like on the bridge. I want to be able to see like what's in front.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, you're in there, and you see
And the screens.
You immediately see Alma in the pilot's seat.
Mm-hmm.
with her hands are not on the controls. She is currently like dealing, like her fingers are flying across other interfaces. And you see as Jade is in the pilot seat, your view is kind of sort of over their shoulders, looking out from just slightly behind the pilot and co-pilot seat. And as you're looking out ahead, you can see that Awakener is being put through some serious evasive maneuvers, and all around you can see as tracers are going past Awakener. And Alma is saying, she's like, okay, just give me 1 more second. 1 second, I think, here, all right, passing it to you. And she swipes something over to Jade, and he says, whew, that stabilizer's not in good condition. Okay, give me 1 second. And you can see as he's like rushing across this, you, Peach, from where you are, you hear behind kind of the location of the sensor, you hear footsteps rushing in, and you hear Abriel saying, they're cutting through, there's nothing I can do. They're going to be in a second. And Alma says, Jade, I need that stabilizer now. He says, okay. It's online. I'm going to go see if I can help Patch. And Alma says, go. Jade gets up, pushes past Abriel, and starts rushing back to out of the cockpit.
Okay. Peach kind of opens her eyes and says, Awakener's being overtaken by ship. I don't know, crew. Figments must have sent someone, or stabilizer was down. It's back up. They're under heavy fire.
Are they flying right now or stationary?
They were flying, right? Yeah. They're.
Okay, who's gonna go and help them out? I think I can maybe send you there.
I'll continue on in here.
We'll also assist within the conduit.
I think that if there are people overtaking them, like if it comes down to a physical fight, I think one of you might want to be there, Mason or Taeon.
I need to split up brain power and brawn.
Here's the reality though. In order for what you're attempting to work, Peach has to sort of be within proximity of an artifact.
Yeah, Peach has to be here.
Yeah, I can't go. I have to stay.
Peach has to stay.
Yeah.
Okay, Mason, do you mind if you go with Bina and help out?
I think I have to go.
Yeah.
All right.
Nina
I
has
will.
to go.
I will go to the Awakener. Absolutely. Here, take this, and I just hand the charge that I may have had in my pocket.
Yeah. Thank you. CT, I mean, we could use you in either party. You said you wanted to join me and Peach in the conduit.
Yes, I can at least move much faster than probably the rest of the group and move ahead to any projective locations to plant charges if need be.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Can you get them there, Taeon?
oh, it's gonna be way harder than anything I've ever done, but I can try.
Wait, Peach has seen the Awakener. You have currently a sensor on there. Can you project it visually so Tan can see it? Would that help?
I won't need that. I won't need that. I'm going to use Traverse Worlds.
Oh boy.
Because that has the requirement of
Tier
just knowing
6,
that it
baby.
exists and the current area is. And I'm assuming since I don't need to, it would be kind of awkward to have to be like, I need to know the orbit of a planet or something like that, just to know the general area.
Yeah, literally the way that it is phrased is that you just need to have a rough idea of where it is and know that it exists.
Which you do.
Yeah.
Which I very much do.
Meet those requirements.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just gonna be like, okay. Usually I have to wait. You can say things just yourself to another. Is it put? So usually it says It says I have to bring other people with me. Am I allowed to just teleport them alone, or would I? Is that something I have to like?
I think yeah, you could probably do it. I think so the rule is, if I remember correctly, spending effort to take more people.
Yes, I
than
spend
just
effort to
yourself.
take someone else with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to decide. I sort of I want to say that it will actually cost more because you're not going with them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, yeah. So I think it would be, and so like how much would you be spending to send?
Ooh.
Like how much does it cost to send more, like to bring more people with you generally?
So to do it at all, it costs 8
Mhm.
intellect points, and then I'll have to use 2 levels of effort to send 2 other people, and that's a total of 13 intellect points. And if I spend another effort for myself, that'll be 15 intellect points. My edge eats 4 of that, so it'll be a total of 11.
Okay. Yeah. So that's kind of what I think. That's kind of where I think it's going to be. That is what I was going to say. So that's, yeah.
Oh god, that's a lot. Okay. I
might be able to.
If you just send me, what is it?
If I just send you, it would be 12, or a total of 8 because of intellect. Intellect would eat into that.
I spend either way.
Yeah.
Sorry, Freeman, what were you saying?
I was just gonna say I could reduce it by 2 steps. I'm just not sure how this ability works. It's take command. Oh no.
No, it's just a price to pay to
I
move
see.
people. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not like an effort. It's not
Oh,
like
right,
a task
right.
or anything.
Never mind.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna do it.
Man.
Okay. All right. So sending back Bina and Mason, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You just
Oh,
kind
man.
of see the almost like reactor in his chest glow, and actually, honestly, deplete a little bit as he pushes the energy that's in him and been stored in his almost battery into the backs of Mason and Bina, and they both just disappear into like a smoke of the aurora borealis kind of energy that Theon emits when he uses his powers.
All right. Yeah.
Mason just gives you like a salute as he's.
All right. So, as Bina and Mason just sort of kind of vanish into that moment, leaving the rest of you there on the prime conduit.
I'm going to immediately try and take my action recovery roll.
Okay.
And I'm going to use repair flesh to bolster that as well.
Did you use the recovery to action last time? Recovery?
I probably did, to be honest. Yes, I did when I came back. Yes, okay.
Okay.
Has it been 10 minutes?
I would say that you would have had a chance to use the like a. I don't know that.
Fine if it's not.
I don't know that you would have had an opportunity since like needing to, right? Like to like take that recovery. That's the thing. That's.
Yeah, it's fine if I can't.
Yeah,
I'm fine with just
I
going
sort of
with
don't
this.
know that there's a way that you could take the 10-minute one right now.
Because we have to keep going.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we just keep. I'll start running.
Yeah. CT will ask for half of those explosives.
Yeah, it's gonna take
Yeah.
half of them out and hand them over.
Aramis walks up and says, "We'll take some.
Okay.
Thanks.
There you
It's
go.
no longer viable for all of us to go together. Time is against us."
Yes, that is agreed.
Be careful.
You as well. Aramis takes how many explosives do you give them?
So the total, if I remember correctly, there's a total of 5.
I think so. That sounds right.
Yeah,
Wasn't there
5.
the big guy?
Yeah,
Was
and
also-
also the big guy.
That
Yeah,
one
so
was-
there's
that
5
was a
one that we can
grenade, though.
plant.
That one's a
Okay,
Mhm.
yes, that one
Yeah,
is a
so-
grenade.
There are 5 charges that we can plant, and 1 like grenade. I have the grenade. We just planted 1 charge. There's 4 left. I would probably give like. I'm not entirely sure how much Aramis and the rest of like the Sulom caretakers can defend themselves. So I'm just gonna give them 1, just in case like
Sure.
they aren't able to do it. They just have to deal with 1 artifact later on. And I'm gonna give 2 to Mason, 1 to.
Mason's gone.
Mason's
Oh,
gone.
Mason's gone.
I'm-
Sorry,
I'm
2
gone.
to 2 to CT, and I'll have another one
Okay.
to myself.
Sounds
Yeah.
good. All right. So immediately the caretakers just sort of split off, and head kind of the way that you came, basically, back in that direction. So, the rest, as the remaining 3 of you turn and make your way the opposite direction. Actually, what I think makes the most sense here is the caretakers themselves would have gone, and Aramis would probably stay with you.
Oh, okay.
I think
Yeah,
that
makes
probably
sense.
makes the most sense here.
Yeah, so Aramis can tell us where everything is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, wait. One last retcon, just because I think this is better and makes more sense. I think Aramis and one of the caretakers went their way, and then one of the caretakers is guiding you.
Okay.
Okay.
And I think that makes the most sense. Just in terms of logistically, who would need to be doing what.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes. So
Yeah, we
yep.
go in different
You
directions.
follow the remaining caretaker down the corridor, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut to Bina and Mason as the two of you. So here's the fun thing. There is a moment as the two of you just sort of hang suspended in nowhere in the middle of sort of this nexus of the energy that Tan projected around you.
I reach out and grab Mason then.
Yeah.
we got two. You got 2 arms.
Yeah. The two of you hang there for just a second, and then suddenly you find yourselves kind of sprawling onto the deck plates of not of Awakener's hold, but of kind of the corridor just outside of the hold. And immediately as you take a moment, you take stock of where you are, you already are hearing the sounds of weapons fire inside Awakener. And as you look up, you can see that you're looking into the hold. You can see where there are bodies, unconscious or perhaps not, of corporate security. The
I'll
airlock
run-
door, the airlock door, by the way, the inner airlock door has been. You can see where it has been cut through.
I fixed that. Like, what can I do about that?
You can't do anything about it right now. There's nothing to do that you can do about it right now.
Okay, then I'm running in the direction of gunfire.
Okay. Yeah.
Into the yep.
It's coming from. It seems to be coming from ahead of you, like in the direction of the bridge and above.
Okay, I'm going.
Okay.
Fastest
Mason's.
way there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can get there faster than me. Please go. Yeah.
All right. So, as you get up there, Mason, you can see the corridor leading up to the bridge. The med bay is fully just wrecked. Like you can see, like weapons fire has been like pockmarking the walls and whatnot in the med bay, and the corridor itself. As you look down that direction, you can see just a block of corporate security who are sort of tactically moving their way up. The door, like the hatch to the bridge, is sealed. So here's the thing, Mason. You recognize something odd, which is that you're hearing weapons fire from this direction. You can see them, but they're not focusing on the bridge. A couple of them have reached the hatch to the bridge, but a couple of them are looking into the hidden room, which is open. Firing shots into there.
Get him! Get him!
Yeah, no, I'm gonna.
Ah!
Yeah.
Not on this ship, you won't.
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So yeah, you start firing. I'm gonna have you make an attack roll here.
Awesome.
Difficulty is
Yeah.
3.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Trained in just trained in weapons. Just trained, nothing specialized. Just trained in all weapons. This weapon in particular, medium-sized weapon. It's gonna shoot bullets.
All right.
So I'll just bring it down to 2, I think.
Okay. You just need a 6 or better right now.
And I got a 14.
Awesome. Yeah. So you fire off a shot, and as you do, you hit, catching them completely unawares. You fire off. One of them just goes down. And a couple of the others kind of notice that you're there and kind of start turning in your direction. But yeah, so starting to turn weapons in your direction. By this point, I would say, Bina, you would
I would like to be
probably...
invisible.
Yeah, you...
I would like to have turned invisible around the corner.
Okay, well then you're not there. If you're turning invisible, then you're not there yet, because you would have...
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so yeah, you just...
And then I'm running.
All right. Mason, the ones that notice you start firing at you.
Good.
So I need you to make a speed defense roll. The difficulty of this is going to be 5 because there's a whole bunch of them concentrating fire on you.
No worries. Definitely trained in speed defense tasks.
Yep.
Don't know if dexterity power shifts
Yes, it
work
does.
for. So I brought it down 3.
Mm-hmm. So you're now at a difficulty 2.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
6 or
oh my goodness, I'm not. I guess running's not going to really help me here, or jumping, because I'm in a tight corridor.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
So that's good.
Did you say that you
Yeah.
activated something earlier?
And I also have resilience
Okay.
too, which makes my armor class 1+1.
Right. It gives you more armor. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That only matters if they hit you.
Yeah.
Let's see if they hit me first.
Yeah.
All right. 13. Okay, I had to make sure. I thought it was a 19.
Yeah, no. So they fire, but you're very quick to just sort of duck back around the corner of the corridor, and their
Yeah.
weapons fire just sort of fires out into the hole. You can hear, Bina. You can hear where it like sticks into some of the it strikes the bulkhead in some places across the hole.
Not on my shoe. I don't even let people smoke in here. This is not allowed.
Mason just like doesn't.
All right, we're gonna cut back over to the prime conduit. So y'all are rushing through. You reach a point where the corridor splits off, and the caretaker sort of stops and starts shuffling back and forth between the two.
The conduit down both routes.
They look at you. They turn. The mandibles just sort of click a couple times.
I have no
Both
idea.
directions are correct, it seems. We need to split up yet again, perhaps.
Peach, do you want to stick with CT?
Yeah. Yeah, I can go with CT.
Okay. I'm gonna go down this road, and it's just gonna take, I don't know, one on the left,
Yeah.
and just take that one.
And Ada follows. Ada follows with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
The caretaker that's with the two of you continues off in the other direction.
Go run after him.
All right.
He's just definitely a couple steps behind CT.
Yeah. Taeyeon, it doesn't take you long before you find another opening similar. And looking inside, you can see where there's, again, the similar room to the one that you planted the last explosive, as well as there is an artifact there as well.
I'm gonna repeat the same thing. Get as close as you can before things feel weird, and set the charge down there.
Yeah. You can see as Ada has split and is now, like, both of her are, like, covering the entrance to the room, just sort of looking out. And you, Taeyeon, you begin setting the charge. Meanwhile, Peach and CT, as you're rushing, the caretaker stops outside one of the openings as well, and glancing in, you also see another one of the artifact rooms.
CT will start to set a charge based off of watching Taeon do the same action.
Yeah.
I just want to look down. Is there anything like? Does the corridor end here, or does it keep going?
It keeps going. Yeah, it keeps going.
I just want to take a look and make sure there's nobody down there.
Okay. Yeah, looking out, you kind of glance past where the caretaker is standing, and you don't see any movement or anyone down that direction.
Good.
So, however, I will say this, Peach. You feel a pull, just a slight tug from the direction of the artifact.
I'm gonna stay put.
The tug becomes more insistent.
Peach, I believe I am finished with setting this one and we should move on. Are you all right?
Yeah, let's keep going.
Okay.
All right.
She kind of lingers for like 1 second, but then follows CT.
Yeah. You continue following the caretaker as they meander the hallway, continuing on the corridor. Taeon, as you finish placing your charge, Ada glances over and says, "Good, we done here?"
We're done here. Yeah.
Okay, let's go. And both Adas go out of the door in unison and sort of split to either side and sort of kind of covering each direction.
Yeah. Taeon comes down the center and looks down the corridor, like in the direction we were going. Is it a dead end or does it keep
No,
going?
it also keeps going.
Oh boy, let's hope the artifacts are down this road, and it's gonna keep going.
Okay, sounds good.
Going down that, yeah.
It's cutting back to Awakener. At this point, I would say, Bina, you would manage to make it up to the kind of like upper level, just sort of opposite the corridor entrance from where Mason is. Mason, who cannot see you there, but Mason is sort of like taking cover around the corner.
Okay.
Glancing down.
I want to go to see.
Yeah, glancing down that way, you can see where several of them are still very focused, of the corporate security are focused on the hidden room, whereas the others have started kind of slowly having kind of in a sort of tactical formation, moving towards you down the corridor.
Okay. I would like to just go past them down the corridor to where there is still some people focusing fire.
Sure.
Just go.
I'm going to go ahead and have you make a roll on this one.
Okay.
It's going to be a speed
Cool.
task, and the difficulty on that is going to be 3.
No problem.
yeah.
Okay. This gives me a bonus to stealth. Let me double check that I remember how much. 2, and then I have a stealth
Okay,
skill now. So
so it's just 0.
got it.
Okay,
Got
are you
it,
going to roll it all?
Oh.
Okay, cool.
I'm going.
Yeah. So how do you move past this formation as they're moving down the corridor towards where Mason is?
So they're like tactical, whatever, doing their like in formation, and Vina's just gonna kind of like go around the corner, like see them, like go back a little bit, remember they can't see her, and then like go again, and just kind of like step out and like step like back against the wall and just like side steps as she passes. And when she gets like near where they are, she's gonna like duck her head below where their gun level would be, just to like in case they start shooting again. And then when she gets past them, she's gonna run.
Yeah. As you're passing by one of them kind of slowly turns their helmeted head in your direction, and then turns back and continues down the corridor. Yeah. Mason.
Can I see what they're doing? Like now that I'm down the hallway, like
no,
the
you
people
would
at the end?
be able to get just kind of past the group that's there,
Okay.
and sort of moving up towards the ones that are now focusing on the hidden room.
Is the door closed
Nope,
or is
it's
it
open.
Okay, cool. All right, that's my turn.
Yeah. So, Mason, you can hear them sort of moving towards you, sort of the kind of soft booted footsteps as they kind of move in tactical formation towards you where you're taking cover. What are you doing?
I'm gonna duck back around and take a couple more shots.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack. The difficulty on this is going to be 3.
Okay, dexterity.
I don't think dexterity factors into your attacks.
Oh, right, you're right. So it's just practiced with light and medium weapons.
You have accuracy that would.
I don't
No,
think I have accuracy
not
now.
accuracy.
All right. Was that a 6 or better again?
Yeah.
Okay. Better rolling platform there. 9.
Nice. So yeah, another one. You just kind of fire off, just catching him center mass. He just goes down. There's still 3 more that are kind of moving towards you, but you see as you fire, they kind of dash to either side of the corridor, kind of taking cover behind some of like the support struts in the hallway, and returning fire. So go ahead and give me a speed defense roll, the difficulty of which is going to be 5.
All right. This is now the power shift
Yes,
comes into play,
now
the
the
dexterity.
power-
So
yep.
that takes it down to 2, and then trained in speed defense. So it's basically the same as last
Yep.
time. 6 or better.
Yep.
11.
Okay. Yeah. Once. Actually, how do you get out of this one? Do you duck back around the corner, or what do you do?
Is there cover on the other side where Bino was, but I
Yeah,
didn't know
yeah,
that?
yeah, there
okay.
is.
So Mason's going to kind of is going to do like a dive roll across
Yeah.
to the next spot.
Yeah. So yeah, you'd like quickly dive roll to the other side, rolling up out of the roll onto the other side into cover, sort of putting your back up against the bulkhead.
Actually, you know what? Gentle retcon here
Okay,
on my
yeah.
own movement. I'm going to. This is just for flavor. I'm not really doing damage, but Mason's going to slide on his knees across and just kind of pop shots off.
Amazing. Yes.
As he slides into cover.
Yeah, incredible. Yeah, you sort of slide across the deck plates to the other side, firing off some sort of just general suppressive fire into the corridor, keeping them in cover while you slide back into cover on the other side. Their shots just completely missing you, as you are not where they expected you to be as you darted across, a little lower to the ground. All right. So, Bina, as you reach the group that is kind of focusing fire, you manage to come up kind of behind them and looking in. How much do you reduce sight tasks, perception stuff? I don't think you're gonna need to roll on this one, but
Yeah, no, I have 3 tasks involving sight, and then my true sight now. I don't know what that does.
Yeah, I don't think that-
as far as this, but
that's not
you
relevant
can
here,
see
but-
in complete darkness.
okay.
So evidently you recognize hologram disguises.
I
blah,
think
blah, blah.
I think you don't need to roll on this one.
Okay, cool.
So looking into the room, you can hear movement from inside the hidden room. You're not sure who or how many people are in there, but one thing you can see, is that there is a compartment that's open inside that room.
How many people are here focusing on this?
Sorry, say again.
Sorry, how many people are
There's
how
about
many,
6 of them.
6 of them.
Mhm.
Okay.
Just so that I can clarify here, inside the hidden room, there is a storage compartment that is open.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I get into the room? Like if I'm under their fire?
It would be really difficult, but you can try. Yeah, it'll be a higher difficulty than just sneaking past the others,
Okay, hold on.
because they are actively shooting into that room.
shooting into it. Yeah. Can I get in front of them and under their fire and not into the room? Like if I'm sitting cross-legged in the hallway, 3 feet in front of them.
It's difficult because they do have a couple who are kneeling down in the corridor. So that would be difficult.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Here's what we're gonna do. How much space is between them and the walls, like, of the corridor? Like, could I get next to them?
Sorry.
You know what? No, never mind. I got it.
Yeah.
I figured it out. I'm doing something else. Okay, I am going to... flash in the center of all of them.
Okay.
So you create an explosion of energy at a point within short range, affecting an area up to immediate range. From that point, you must be able to see the location where you intended to do the explosion. The blast inflicts 2 points of damage to all creatures and objects within the area. Adding effort deals an additional 2 points of damage to each target. Even if you fail the roll, all targets still take 1 point of damage.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. So then this is gonna be, yeah. I mean, then the roll on this one is it's just gonna be a difficulty 3
Okay.
task. So yeah. An intellect task. So yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I have any bonuses. Anything? Is it 3 because they don't know I'm there?
I mean, it's 3.
I'm just asking if I get any. If there's
Yeah,
any
I don't think so.
because
I
they
don't
don't know
think
I'm
so,
there. Okay, cool. That's fine. All right, then I'm gonna spend 1,
Mhm.
and then I can do math. And then I'm gonna roll on that.
Okay. Go for it.
6 or better.
6 or better.
That's a 6.
Whoa.
So
Love that.
go ahead and describe
what-
what this looks like. Yeah.
Yeah, so when I take an action or an attack, my invisibility goes away. I can call it back on if I want to, but it will go away. So she's standing behind them, maybe like 10 feet away. And she kind of like, unseen to everyone, will put all 4 of her hands out. And from behind her, her invisibility starts to like peel off of her in kind of like a pixelated way and like come towards her hands as it kind of becomes like light down her hands and then just blasts out at like a mote kind of in and just is gonna explode against everyone. And I am gonna spend another point of effort to make it 4 points of damage. If
Okay.
I can do that. I don't know when I'm supposed to declare that. I don't
No,
do a
that's-
lot of
that's-
damage and
yeah, that's
inflicting
fine.
stuff.
Yeah. So that bright flash just sort of, and remind me again. You said what is kind of the range of that? Like the is there
It's
like
within immediate range
Okay.
of where the point goes.
Okay, gotcha.
So theoretically, I would like to get it in the center of all of them. I want to hit everybody if I can, but I'll hit as many people
Sure.
as possible wherever I can. 4 points.
Yeah, you definitely are able to do that. So yeah, you watch as that bright flash goes up, and like they all kind of like startle and stumble around. You can hear like them kind of cursing and whatnot, and in many cases, a few of them just get laid flat by that explosion, that blast of light. As the kind of light sort of subsides, Bina, you can see that the 6 of them who are in there in the corridor right there where you were are just sort of laid flat. Like one or 2 of them are like on the ground like but like they're all just sort of laid flat. That flash
She's just gonna be yeah. Great, continue.
that flash caused a couple of the other ones in the corridor to look in your direction, and now they see you there, and I need you to make a speed defense roll, the difficulty of which is going to be 4.
Yep. Okay. I have my Hollow Shield, which is an asset to defense tasks.
Mhm.
You said, sorry, 4? You
Yep.
said? 3. And Overbreak, I decided on my final ability, which is Exploit Advantage. Even if you can do something, well, you've learned you can always do better. Whenever you have an asset for a roll, you additionally lower the task by 1 step.
Oh my god.
So it's a difficulty 2 now?
Yeah.
Okay. Difficulty 2, you need a 6 or better to
It's been a 6 or better on this ship, so we're good.
I want to save my speed in case I have to do some stupid piloting, so I'm gonna roll on a 6 or better.
Okay.
12.
All right. So I'm You just like bring up that hard light shield, and as you bring it up,
I think she crouches down a little bit to get her whole body behind it. And I think she takes all of them on the shield. She's not very good at being evasive.
yeah, you just see as the impacts sort of ripple across the kind of the hard light projection of the shield. Just sort of
I think while this is happening, she's turning towards her and being like, "Are you okay?" Like she doesn't even know who's in there. Just like she has the attention. It doesn't matter now. She can be noisy.
Yeah. All right. At this point, Mason, I'm gonna offer you a GM intrusion.
Toss it my way,
All right.
friend.
Go ahead and give yourself an XP and give the other one. At this point, it's kind of gotta be Bina.
Bina.
It has to be Bina. Yeah. Bina's the only other person present. So.
And that there's space to us.
Yeah. As you are, Mason, you're still like there's still a couple in the corridor who you're sort of squaring off against. You hear the sound of booted feet coming from down below in the hold. And as you kind of like glance in that direction, you can see a handful of what looks like corporate reinforcements who are kind of rushing through the airlock door.
Come to join the party?
On that, we will jump over to back to the conduit, where, cutting over to Taeon, as you're running, you and Ada are running down the corridor, there is very suddenly a shudder that runs through the conduit. You start hearing a sort of
No.
Ada looks up and she says, "Yeah, I think we just ran out of time." We gotta hurry.
Yeah, we just need to hurry. I'm gonna try and hold on. Let's see. Can I just can I scoop Ada up and just start fast stepping?
Yeah. She just.
Let's just move faster.
Yeah. Sorry. So you're doing what now? Just.
I want to pick Ada up in my arms and just start fast stepping so I can just like cover more ground in least amount of time.
She goes, "Oh, okay." And like as you pick her up, the other one just sort of merges back, and you just. Yeah. Yeah.
Luckily, my edge covers fast step pretty easily, so.
Yeah. You just sort of jump ahead a little ways, and take a moment, get your bearings. You don't see another opening, and then just sort of continuing down the corridor. As you are there, we're gonna cut back to Peach and CT as y'all also feel the conduit starting to sort of spool back up again.
What does the caretaker look like when this is going on?
The caretaker actually like stops for a moment, sort of head turning, looking around, turns back to you and just starts thrumming at you, and then just sort of clicking mandibles.
Has the charge been set by the other caretakers?
They look at you, head tilt, and then the mandibles click a couple times.
We still have one more charge that needs to be set within our possession, and I suppose we need to be moving very quickly now.
Let's go.
All right, you rush on, and after a moment, you come to another one of the artifact chambers. This time, Peach, it doesn't take a second. You just immediately feel that tug, insistent, from the artifact. It's not pulling you in. It should be noted, it's not pulling you in. It's just sort of like tugging at you.
If we have almost all the charges set, then maybe I should start trying to get Olam in them here.
Must you be present within the conduit in order to do so?
I think so.
While we have many explosives set to explode.
Could do it now before it goes off. I'm gonna go and kind of let the tugging take.
Yeah. CT, you watch as Peach just sort of arms drop to her sides as she just stares blankly into the artifact.
See if I'm being tricked.
Yeah. Peach, immediately you find yourself in the same room that you're in. You can even see you're even seeing as CT is moving about, sort of setting the charge. The weird thing is that you're also looking at yourself, just staring blankly into the artifact.
Okay.
And as you kind of turn, you become aware that you're not alone. And as you turn, you see the older Olim standing there. And he looks at you. I was trying to get your attention. Things have changed. The others, somehow they know what we're doing.
So what does that mean? What do we have to do instead?
It means they won't let me come. They won't let me come to you. It means that the only possibility now is you have to direct the conduit so that it doesn't open at the edge of this dimension, but at the center of my being. It's the only way. I can't come to you now. They won't let me. You have to open it. You have to let the conduit open on me and then destroy it.
But how will we know where you are? I thought you couldn't come to us.
I can't. But you can direct the conduit. I'll help you.
Direct. Can I just get a read on this? This feels like the same Olim. I just want to make sure that things have changed, new plan. This isn't a trick.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
sense that in any way.
I am going to need you. Yeah, we're gonna make this a roll.
Okay.
I mean, intellect task. The difficulty of this is going to be 7.
Okay. Does the fact that I've interacted with both Figment and Oldlam, I know they're distinct. I would know what the feeling difference is.
You know what? It's not enough for an asset,
Their
but
influence?
I will allow you to sort of add 1 to the result of your roll.
Okay.
Because of that.
Okay. Does my intelligence power shift help in any way for this?
I think so. Yeah, I think it does. It's for knowledge tasks and things.
It's a
like that,
knowledge
so yeah.
task. Okay. Okay, so that's down to 6. And then I have a free level of effort, so that would be down. Oh wait, it was 7, wasn't it? Okay, so then that would be down to 5.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend 2 levels of effort to bring this down a little bit more.
Okay. So yeah, so from 5 down to 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So right now it's at a 9 or better.
Okay. I'm gonna roll for this one.
Okay.
I don't have anything else, so. Would you say? Okay, I already rolled. I'm gonna use an XP to re-roll that because I rolled a 4
Okay.
for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say this is a pleasant social interaction?
It's not an unpleasant one.
So,
So
we're not being unfriendly. It's just reading.
It is an insight read.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Sure.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that if it's an insight read, then I'm specialized, so that knocks it down 2 more. So instead of 3, it'd be
difficulty 1.
yeah.
So then yeah, you would have succeeded that.
So yes.
Yeah,
Okay. So
so-
the 4, I don't need to use an XP. I was like, I know I have something else that would work
Yeah.
here. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So it's you can tell by kind of the desperation in this being's voice. You can tell, yes, this is the same one that you were dealing with before.
Okay.
I just say that I love that we have to like this campaign specifically arguing for whether stuff is pleasant social interactions or not. I love that keep coming up as a thing.
Yeah.
The or otherwise is the favorite thing I'm having
Yeah.
on my character sheet.
Oh. I'm gonna look at kind of old Olam. Do we wait? Should we do it now?
You'll need to be here to change where the conduit is going to open. But after that, you should be far from here when it opens.
Okay.
All right. I'll show you how. And you see as Olam holds out his hand to you, Peach. You take it,
I'm gonna
and
take it.
you feel yourself very suddenly rush into the artifact. And as you do, you find yourself floating in sort of that scintillating light at the center of the artifact. And then you feel a tug, and as you turn to face it, you realize that it's Olam holding your hand, pulling you along. And as you follow, you and Olam traverse down what can only be described as a corridor. And as you move down this corridor, you're seeing flashes of the doorways as you pass by. You're seeing flashes of things, images and sounds that you're unable to fully process as you go through, as you rush past them. It's not unlike the like in Willy Wonka, the tunnel, right? It's not unlike that. As you're
I think Peach at this point has learned not to listen to things like that.
Yeah. And as you're rushing down this, there is a moment where you see a swirling mass of particulate matter that is just forming into cohesive shapes and then kind of shifting again and again in various ways without any kind of pattern or repeat. This particulate matter that is a cloud of particulate behaving like liquid almost, with sort of droplets that sort of float off and then reform, pull back together. And you feel, as you no longer see Olam, you feel the pull coming from that mass. And as you do, you can hear the voice of Olam say, "Here. This is where it needs to be. I need you to focus. Focus on all the other artifacts on the conduit, and focus them here." I am going to have you make an intellect check, but not right now because we're going to cut back to Awakener.
Okay.
As Bina, you are in the corridor, just currently facing down the barrels of assault weapons that are pointed in your direction, from behind your light shield. Mason, you kind of taking cover, seeing the approaching reinforcements. If they get to you, you are going to be fully out in the open. There is no cover from the direction they're coming from. Currently, there are still three corporate security still up and in the corridor, which currently that and the med bay are your only options for cover.
No, 3 is better than what's coming behind. So Mason's going to assess that very quickly and look, oh, so you were joining the party. Fuck, okay. And then it's going to run forward and it's going to take a shot at before closing the gap completely, it's going to take a shot at one of the soldiers.
All right, go ahead and make that roll. All the usual stuff applies, so I think you're just at a 6 or better.
6 or better.
Yep.
8.
Okay. Yeah, you drop one of them as you start rushing down the corridor towards them. 2 of them are actually, as you come around the corner, 2 of them are facing Bina. So they're the ones who are sort of have their weapons pointed in her direction. So as you come around the corner, they are not looking at you. So you drop the one, and he just goes down, sort of sliding down against the bulkhead.
I'd like to pick up his gun.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you can probably get about that much done before it's their turn, as they will open fire again against Bina. Usual stuff. Actually, one of them isn't. One of them is actually going to redirect his focus on Mason. So, actually, Bina, it's going to be easier for you. It's going to be a difficulty 3 to start with.
Oh gosh. Okay. All right. I have. Oh gosh, where did any of my things go? There it is. Okay.
I think you dropped that down to a 1, right?
I think so. So it's 3 to begin with, 1 from my shield, acid defense, 1 from exploited advantage, and then it's on 1, which I'm just gonna roll on.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh god, jeez, in my hand, off the table. Stay in there. 14.
14. All right, once again, just sort of like slowly backing up as the one fires. It's easier this time as you're only trying to catch the fire of one of them on your light shield. So the other one is going to fire at Mason. So Mason, it's a speed defense roll, and the difficulty of this one is also going to be 3.
Okay. I probably defense. Okay, dexterity, power shift, trained it. I dropped
you just
it down
drop it
to nothing.
Yeah, I think you drop it to
Yep.
nothing. So, do you want to roll anyway?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
18.
Oh, hell yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, as you how do you dodge? You're basically you're in much closer proximity to this guy than you were in the past. So,
Yeah, I kind of like duck around in a weird, like, quick darting way, kind of like a boxer almost,
Yeah.
but like with 2 guns in his hand. It's like,
yeah, like one handing an assault rifle in this hand and your pistol in the other.
yeah, perfect.
Yeah, you just sort of very quickly like dodge around it. You can see as he's already trying to move his weapon to track you, but it is currently your go. So what are you doing, Mason?
I'm gonna shoot.
Yeah.
Definitely shoot.
Okay.
Yeah, if I can move a little bit and shoot, that'd be good.
Sure. Yeah. As you continue to move down the corridor past him towards Bina. Yeah. Again, once again, I think this drops down to 2 difficulty 2, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So you just need a 6 or better.
7.
Jesus.
This time I'm gonna use the assault rifle this time.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, you just fire a short burst and he goes down. And it's just you and Bina now in the corridor, but you can hear the booted feet coming. You can actually now at this point you can start hearing kind of like the lift from the hold starting to approach. You can hear as it's
Right.
approaching this.
Do I get an action? Or
Yeah,
are we-
yeah, it's on.
It's our turn now.
Yeah, it's on you.
I'm going to grab Mason, and I'm going to. There's a kind of. I think there's still some like a little bit of like flickering kind of very soft orb like blips of light from the flash thing earlier, and they're all gonna kind of like sink into Bina and like cover her entirely, and then spread across onto Mason, harden and go transparent, and then I'm gonna give both of us. Protection from kinetic energy.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
nice.
Amazing. Yeah. So,
Can I see anything in the room now?
You kind of glancing in from where you're positioned in the corridor, you can see a pair of legs that are sort of extended, kind of so like that are extended out from where you are. You recognize the legs of Jade's coveralls.
Okay, all right. I can't actually take the movement right now, but like, I am starting to move back towards
Okay.
the room.
Yeah.
Or I will be as soon as I can.
Sounds good.
I don't know if it's not within immediate range, is it?
Not quite. No.
Yeah.
This would be.
I'll move as far as I can my immediate range,
Sure.
and then I'll do the rest of it on my next turn.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, then we are going to cut back to Taeyeon as you are rushing down this. You and Ada are rushing down this corridor as you are far stepping your way through this place. You reach an opening that's different than the others that you've seen. This one doesn't. This one is slightly larger, and it doesn't open into one of the conduit chambers like you've seen before. This one opens into a much larger space, where you can see kind of there's sort of a catwalk and balcony that look out over what appears to be some sort of very alien reactor. That is currently spooling up with that same energy that you have seen around the conduit. There is an artifact in here, the largest one that you've ever seen. This one is probably about as tall as you. That is just sort of out in the middle of this reactor, which essentially just looks like several rings that are just sort of turning, kind of going around this, spinning around the artifact at the center of the reactor. But in between you and that, you see Damian Ellis. Looking as he did the last time you saw him, with those eyes that are like looking into space, seeing the depths of them at the very, very, like looking at the center of the eyes, that almost star-like pinprick, like looking through the last star left in space, the mouth wider than it comfortably should be, as he stares at you and says,
Here we are.
Damien. And I'm speaking to Damien, not you, Figment. Damien, I never really was a fan of corporates, but I don't think you deserve this. I'm sorry.
You will be.
I'm just trying to figure out what I should do, because above game, I don't know what Peach knows now. Okay, I know what I want to do. I have an idea, and I'll spend an XP to make this happen
Sure.
if I can.
"What are you doing?"
I only had one explode. I only had one charge. I gave 2 to CT, 1 to the caretaker, and I already set 2, so I have no more left on me. But I still have the grenade, and I want to try something. I want to throw the grenade towards the reactor, and pull out the pin and everything, but use exile when it's close to the reactor to make it disappear for the next 10 minutes, so that we have a 10-minute counter before it appears again and blows this reactor up.
You go ahead and spend an XP, because I think you need to be touching the thing that you exile, right?
Yeah.
So go ahead and spend an XP.
Yeah. So he kind of he's reached down to his side as if he's gonna reach for his gun, but then just completely overshoots and grabs the grenade and throws it.
Yeah. I'm gonna have you go ahead and give me a roll on this one.
Yeah.
This is just sort of like a basic, like, am I throwing it in the right spot?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, this is gonna be a roll. The difficulty on this is going to be, I think the difficulty on this is gonna be 4, and it's a speed task.
Speed. Okay. Speed is good. Does accuracy count here?
Yes, 100%.
trying to be accurate with my
yes,
throw.
absolutely.
So that's you said a 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
That brings it down to a 2.
Okay.
Trained in tasks involving sights.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? So it brings it down
Okay,
to
down
1.
to
Through.
1. And I have an ability. I don't know if it applies to this actually. You're trained in physical range weapons. Does a grenade count as a range weapon?
I don't think so, because
Probably
technically
not.
it is, in this
Yeah.
instance, what you're using is a Cypher.
Yeah, that's
And I
true.
also don't think that, I sort of don't think that grenades are counted as, like, ranged weapons.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
know.
that's fair.
I don't know.
You gotta throw him a range.
Yes, you do. But it wouldn't be treated in the same way that, like, like, throwing a grenade would be, like, more of a, like, a might roll, I think. But
Okay.
yeah, so like I think I'm making a distinction here that it's not the same. I may revisit
That's
that
okay.
ruling in
Yeah.
the future, but for right now, that's the distinction that I'm making.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's all I have. So it's a 3 or better.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Difficulty 1, 3 or better. That's what you got.
I'll just wait. Hold on. Let's see. No, there's really nothing else I have. Okay. 12.
What?
What'd you say? 12?
Oh, 12. Sorry.
12.
Yeah, 12.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
You didn't really. I didn't hear me. Yeah.
So yeah, you take the grenade and you just throw it, lobbing it into the kind of the center. And as these as you throw it, you can see as it passes through the rings that are sort of turning around, sort of spinning around the center point where that artifact is, and it goes right in between some of them and then just vanishes.
And again, he's depleting himself a lot. You just see like the almost battery cell that he's been used to store energy just like deplete a little bit more.
Yeah.
Well, now that that's done, do you want to fight, Figment?
With that, we're gonna cut over to CT.
Sick.
CT, as you kind of finish setting the charge, you see as the readouts on the charge start reading. The nice thing about these charges is that they are networked. The charges themselves are networked, so you can actually, as you set this one, you see the display on the charge, registering that all of the other charges are set. You also notice that Peach is still just sort of staring blankly, limply into the artifact.
He's gonna cool, charges are set, and then unsure what to do with the Peach, but just make sure she's not gonna fall over for a second, and then if at all possible try to reach out to her to bring her back to anything.
Yeah. You reach out, kind of unsure exactly what to do. You just kind of start gently sort of shaking her, trying to get her to pull out of it. Peach, you were vaguely aware of this. But now I'm going to need you to make that intellect check.
Okay.
So
What's the difficulty?
the difficulty on this one is going to be 8.
Okay. So does the intelligence power shift come into play since it's an intellect?
Yes, I think it will in this case. Yeah.
Or is this a knowledge? Would just say
It's not a knowledge. It's not a
or-
knowledge task, but I think I'm gonna let it affect this because
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Does my training in Dreamcraft help at all in my abilities?
Yeah,
Does
I
that?
think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's down to 6 right now.
I am also going to give you an asset for the time that you have spent with artifacts.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Finally, it gives me a bonus and not a negative.
It's one of those double-edged swords kind of things, right? Where it's a hindrance when you are trying to defend, but it is an asset when you're trying to use them.
Nice.
Okay. I don't think I have anything else that helps with this.
So that is a total. What does that totally bring you down to?
It brings it down to 5,
Okay,
right?
that's
Because it
kinda
was So then I'm gonna spend. I'm gonna spend 4 levels of effort.
Okay. Bringing it down to a difficulty 1. All you need right now is a 3 or better.
Here, let me just. Okay. Sorry, I had to do math really quickly so I wouldn't lose that. Okay. $11.
Okay. I am. So you succeed. I am going to offer you a GM intrusion, however.
I'm gonna take it.
Okay. So go ahead and take that XP. Give the other to somebody else. I think currently CT is the only one you can do that to, because
I'm giving it to CT.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Who's holding me, and I think Pete just kind of puts a hand up, like,
Yeah.
because she can't speak.
All right. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna sort through these real fast. I have an idea, but I also want to see what I'm consulting the deck.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Interesting. I like that one. That's better than mine. Okay. As you pull, you find yourself. It's a bizarre experience, Peach, as you can feel. You feel your consciousness split. As your focus goes in. Oh, sorry, I need to find something that's better for this particular thing. You find your focus split here, as you begin to feel all of the artifacts on the conduit. And as you start kind of reaching out to all of them, there is one by one, as you kind of grab one and you pull it. It's like you have become almost a tether. And as you reach out one by one, you pull tendrils of awareness from these artifacts and attach them to your tether. Feeling your consciousness spread out over all of them across the station. 16 in total. You begin pulling them towards you. Until you feel that you've gathered all of them. And as you take that and you begin focusing on this mass in front of you that you see just shifting around, you pull all of them almost like you're dragging a cart behind you. And as through sheer mental effort, you drag, for lack of a better term, the attention of all of those artifacts in. And just to that moment, as you pull and pull, feeling almost an elasticity beginning to kind of pull you back, you strain against it and strain against it. And in that moment, just when you feel like you won't be able to hold on to them much longer, you feel someone else take hold. As you look up and you can see all of them. You see Olim. You see Mason. You see Bina. You see yourself. And you see Alma. All of them, hands outstretched, pulling those tendrils towards themselves, loosening the load on you. And in that moment, Olim turns towards you and just says, "That's it. Go."
We're in this together. Thanks.
And you are now once again standing in the room as CT is sort of gently shaking you.
So a bit of a change of plans. We're going to still destroy this thing, but I need to be on here until the last possible second.
I can make that happen.
The conduit's going to seem like it's opening. But I got it. It won't open.
So it shall be. We shall wait it out as long as we can.
I think everybody else should leave.
No, that would be an improper resolution to this task.
We won't have a lot of time.
That is fine. Any amount of time shall be adequate. All others can leave. However, you should not be alone facing this task alone.
I won't be alone, CT, but if you want to stay, I can't stop you.
And you cannot.
Okay. If Taeyeon doesn't have any juice left, I think I might have a way to get us out of here if I'm still conscious after this. She just kind of like looks. I don't even know where she looks. I think she just looks around. Like, it's just, she's a little spacey right now.
All right. Then we're going to cut back to Awakener. As Mason and Bina, you're now shoulder to shoulder in this hallway. As you can hear the booted feet now on the catwalk that runs kind of around half the upper floor of the hold. You can hear them coming towards the corridor. What are the two of you doing? You got a moment before they come around the corner. You got a moment.
Can we dodge into the safe room?
So maybe, yeah, go get in there.
That's
with
where,
Jade.
yeah, exactly. Let's get in there and see if the door still works. If it doesn't, well, I'll just hold the
Figure it
door
out.
here.
It's fine.
Mhm.
All right.
Let's get inside this room.
Yeah. So the two of you kind of back into the secret room. Bina quickly reaching up. You can see that the panel, the access panel. It appears to be disabled. It's not working for some reason. It doesn't look like it's damaged, but it's for whatever reason it's not working.
Cool, that's fine. That's fine.
Mason, looking into the room around you, you see Jade, who is sort of slumped, unconscious, at the base of the bulkhead, with Patch kneeling down next to him. And they look up at you, Mason, and they say,
I tried to talk him out of it.
Status. Mason says with a quiver in his voice.
You see as Patch holds up an empty syringe.
We have to hold this position regardless.
Understood. They will not pass us.
Is he okay? Is he breathing?
He is stable for now.
Okay.
Can I feel him?
Yeah,
Like-
you can feel Jade.
Like unconscious streaming generally, or more tumultuous?
Interestingly, you should be feeling him as if he is unconscious, but you definitely don't. But you're also not feeling. You're feeling Jade almost like when you have felt, you know what? Jade actually right now feels similar to the way that you feel Taeyeon sometimes, where it's like a whole bunch of Jades from different times almost, but it's not quite the same. It's not quite the same. It almost feels like, yeah, it's hard to explain, but you're feeling Jade. He definitely doesn't feel unconscious to you.
This is maybe an odd question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how else to phrase it. Does he feel lost? Like in his head, like
No.
Okay.
You felt that before too, like with Alma when you
Yeah.
rescued her, and it's not like that at
Yeah.
all.
Okay.
No.
So I think Bean is just gonna kind of like crouch down and like little pats on his cheeks, like, okay, buddy, I need you to let me know if you're in there. You don't have to say anything. Are you good? Are you in there? Like, if he can hear me, if he can react, if he reacts at all to me talking to him in his head at all.
Yeah, you feel a reaction, but it's not what you were hoping for. It doesn't feel. Yeah, you can't quite put your finger on exactly what's happening with Jade right now. Jade is sort of his own interference at the moment.
That's fine. Okay. You're so brave and so stupid, but we're gonna get you out of here, and it's gonna be okay. Okay. And she gives him a couple more pats on the cheek, and I want to get his like legs out of the doorway. I want to get him like fully out of harm's way.
Yeah. At this point, you can hear the booted feet starting to come in your direction.
And I look to Mason and Patch like, what's the play here?
Yeah. Patch looks at you, Mason, and then picks up their rifle.
They will not get past.
You certainly won't.
All right. We're gonna cut over to Taeon. As Taeon, you are facing off against Damian Ellis and Figment. Only you and Ada, as the two of you face this threat in front of you. You see as Figment looks at you, and there's this tense moment as you just stare each other down.
I'm going to shoot first.
Taeon shot first.
Proudly.
All right, go ahead and make your attack. The difficulty on this task is going to be 8.
8. Interesting. Okay. So 8. Trained in medium weapons. Task involving sight. Accuracy. Power shift accuracy. Single attack. Medium blaster for power shift as well. I have an ability called Targeting Eye, where I'm trained of any physical weapon I use, I have an asset with that. Any range physical weapon I use as an asset with that. And I think that's it. It's a 6 or better.
Okay. Yeah. You brought it difficulty 8 down to a difficulty 2. You need a 6 or better to succeed here on this attack.
11.
Okay.
Fire into his chest. Immediately going to use rapid attack. I'm going to let him stagger and immediately shoot again. And all the same things. I'm going to reduce it down to 6.
Yep.
15, and I shoot him in the chest again. Just go.
Yeah. You see as it hits, and as it does, you can see as he just sort of stumbles. There's no visible sign of the injury, as you see almost like the energy blast just gets absorbed, and he just sort of stumbles. And the second one stumbles back again, so he's like grabbing onto the rail of the catwalk as he's there. And you hear behind you as the dual sets of footsteps as Ada just sort of splits in that moment to either side of you, kind of flanking you to either side. And you see as Figment Ellis sort of stands up again, straightens up. And I need you to make an intellect defense roll. The difficulty on this is going to be 10.
Okay. Specialized in intellect defense rolls.
Excellent. So down to an 8.
I got intellect defense. I got intelligence and power shift.
And that affects intellect defense rolls, right? I believe it does, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's down to a 7. 3 level of effort, down to a 6. I'll spend another level of effort to make it down to a 5. Yeah. I'm gonna roll from there.
Okay.
I
So
think
what
I'll
did you bring it
check
down to?
everything. 5, I think it was.
5. All right. So that's
Yes, 5.
15 or better that you need. I'm
Let
gonna
me
say
just make sure.
yeah. No, never mind. Sorry, I lost track of what we were doing. Never mind.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay.
You can do it.
15. That's exactly what I need, right? That's 15. Okay.
Okay.
Good dice, good dice.
So, as you feel that heavy presence bear down on you, Taeon, you feel it, just the full weight of the attention of this being of many consciousnesses, focused like a laser on you. You feel yourself being crushed under it for a moment, and you kind of feel like you can see the edges of your vision go dark slightly as you sort of sway under the weight of it. But as you are there, you feel a hand on either of your forearms, and kind of glancing to either side, you see as both Adas have reached forward, each of them kind of holding a weapon out pointed towards Figment, and the other hand holding one of your forearms, and you manage to push back against it. And as you do, you feel that push go just a little bit further, as suddenly it's not just you pushing. You feel the entire weight of entity behind you as they push with you. And as you push, you feel yourself. You feel the tide change as you feel yourself, your own awareness engulf Figment. And for the first time ever, perhaps the first being ever from your dimension, you see Figment as so small. And as you push with the weight of entity behind you, you feel as Figment is suddenly, the entirety of Figment has been concentrated into Damian Ellis.
That's right. All attention on me.
All right. We're gonna cut back to Awakener, as you, Mason, and Patch kneel down in the mouth of the entrance to the hidden room, as the first of the corporate security sort of rush into your view, kind of just down the corridor. It's your go, as you got the jump on them. So what are you doing?
Fire.
Okay. All right. And I'm
Are they coming from both directions,
no,
or just the
just
one?
from the direction
Cool.
you came from.
Just wanted to clarify.
From the direction of the hole.
How far are they from us?
They're now kind of about what would be at about like the like 1/3 of the way down the corridor, down the entirety of the length of the corridor. So probably from you, they are definitely within kind of a immediate pushing short range, basically.
Then hold on. Can I go first?
Yeah.
I think I can help.
Do it.
I'm gonna this is stuff like wrecked, things have been shot, whatever. Can I find like a loose screw, nut bolt, anything that's like small on the ground nearby me?
Yeah.
Okay, I grab like a bolt, and she kind of like crunches it in her hand really hard, and I'm gonna instill it with foul aura, and I would like to roll it down the hallway.
Oh hell yeah! Okay, yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, you just throw it.
So this will invest an object no larger than yourself with an aura of fear, doom, doubt for 1 day. Creatures feel the need to move at least one short distance away from the object. If they don't move, the difficulty of all their tasks, attacks, and defenses attempted within the aura is +1 for the duration.
Okay.
So, I don't know if that helps.
Yeah.
I don't know if that helps the attack, but
Yeah, you can see as they the effect is immediate as they're like running kind of down the corridor, you see that the ones in front are immediately brought up short and start kind of pushing back against the ones behind them, and they start kind of all pushing back. Mason, go ahead and make your attack. The difficulty has been reduced down to 2. So
I love to play support.
I think you can reduce that further down to 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, trained in medium and light weapons.
Yeah. So go ahead and make that roll.
I don't know what I rolled. I'll be completely honest. It's a crescent moon.
Oh, that's a
Is that a
20.
Hell
That's
yeah.
Whoa!
Major effect. Major effect. What would you like? What would you
Oh
like
my
your
gosh,
major effect to
major-
be here?
Oh, I don't even know. I've never been prepared for this. I never thought I would roll a 20 ever, and all something spicy. Yeah, I guess. Oh, I don't know. I honestly have no
You're already
clue.
scared. I don't know if you.
I know,
that
right?
gives you
Yeah.
Any ideas like to build off of that? I don't know.
Well, I shoot 1 for sure.
Mhm.
And does me coming out and like activating the flying ability and just flying at them just make it just a little more terrifying, maybe?
Yeah, I love this. Okay, so here's how this goes. Basically, like you take a shot down the corridor at the exact same moment that you rush forward, leaving the deck plates of the ship as you just sort of spin in the air. Your coat kind of whipping around you, almost as if it's in sort of its own sort of lessened gravity, as you just sort of hover in the middle of the corridor, bringing the weapon to bear. As they all sort of back up, you can tell, by the way, right now as you're looking at them, none of them appear to be warped, not like the ones on the station. These appear to be, or at the very least, not fully warped. Like you don't see the green glow coming from inside the helm, the helmet. They see you, and like already they were backing away from Bina's aura, but they immediately start backing away even further. Like they don't even attempt to fire at you.
Come on, fellas, you're not getting paid enough for this.
I'm gonna have you make a roll on this one. This is gonna be an intellect task.
Oh.
The difficulty on this is gonna be 2.
2?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, am I trying to persuade, or is this what is
I
this?
think
Because
this
I
is
do.
more of like an intimidation. Yeah.
Intimidation.
Oh, cool. Well, I don't really have anything except I'm guarded, and that means I'm disliked, but I don't get any like actual benefits from that. I don't
Yeah.
think for this.
Yeah.
Disliked.
Yeah, no, basically that's what
Generally.
guarded is essentially. Well, anyway,
Yeah. So are you can spend, or you could just.
I'll spend.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll spend. Let's see. I'm gonna use might for this. I'll
Okay.
spend some might.
Sounds good. All right. You 1 level.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're down to a difficulty 1. You just need a 3 or better right here.
God, 6.
So, as they are sort of backing away out of the corridor, a few of them just sort of like look at each other, and then just you see like the first one just drop weapons and just walk away, just walks, and the others sort of watch. Then they look at you, Mason, just sort of hovering in the center of the corridor, and Patch just sort of walks out, just sort of stands there in the middle. And they just sort of one by one start also dropping their weapons and just walking back out, making their way back to the airlock. All right.
I'm running for the bridge.
Okay. So hold on, give me 1 second as I find a thing. All right. So,
Mason's gonna make sure they do.
you and Patch sort of like herd them out of the
I'm
ship.
gonna kick along the little bolt that has like
Yeah, just-
fear. I'm just gonna keep kicking it down the hallway like after them.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So, back to the conduit where Taeon is squaring off against Figment. So, Taeon, you feel yourself having now, you and Entity have pulled the entirety of Figment's being into this one physical being in front of you, Damian Ellis. What would you like to do?
Okay, I have a question. Because this is the first time I've ever been this low. If I want to use an ability and I don't have enough intellect points, can I just not do it, or can I eat into another pool? So like I finish off that pool and eat into another. I don't know
I'm
how.
going to say for the sake of this, I think this is how it works, but I'm not positive. But I'm going to say for the sake of this that you can eat into another pool.
Okay.
But if your intellect goes out, then you drop one track on one step on the damage track.
You're
Yeah.
unimpaired.
Yeah,
What does that do again?
Impaired.
So it's +1 effort per level, and you ignore minor and major effect results on rolls. Combat rolls of 17 to 20 deals only 1 damage.
Okay.
+1 damage.
I want to walk up to Damien, and this is why I want to see if I could taste the flavor of this dimension. I want to use traverse worlds to send him back to the dimension. He's all in this one body now. I want to send it back to the dimension that they originally from. I already had a taste for it. I tasted the spicy space-time, so this might be enough information, I hope. And I will eat into, I don't want to send just them, so I will take extra effort and all of that, and I'll eat into my pawns. I'll even use experience if I need to, but I want to send them back.
Okay. Yeah. So. Okay, I need you to make a roll. The difficulty on this roll is going to start out at 7.
Okay.
It's going to be an intellect task.
Okay. 7. So. I have a power shift in intelligence. Would that count? Okay.
I think I'm
It's down to
yeah, for the same reason that I let it count with Peach, because this is sort of like a weird thing. This is a weird circumstance that I think it applies.
Yeah. Okay.
What
Down to
does
6.
spending XP do to a roll?
I think you can treat it as like a reduction, like like you can reduce
Like a level of effort
Yeah.
with an XP?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's also available to you.
Okay. 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 So I'm going to use 3 level of effort as well. That's wait. So it's down to a 5. Okay. So I use an XP as well.
Okay.
To bump it down.
Down to a 4.
Is there any help from entity currently having
That
his
is
badge?
why it started at a 7.
It's 7.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Just wanted to make
I
sure.
feel like that would have definitely been like a 10 at least, or maybe even more than that at the beginning. I'll use another level of effort.
Okay.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm hurting real bad. Okay, so that's a 3. So that's a 9 or better.
9 or better is what you need.
Oh my god. Okay. I kid you not, I got a nat 20.
What?
Oh. Wow.
Dice are so good to our narrative. I can't even.
Does that count if you're impaired though, or does that happen
I'm not
after?
impaired
No,
yet.
he's not impaired
I'm not
yet.
impaired
Not
yet.
impaired yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yes.
So, yeah, you get a major effect here.
Can my major effect be that I'm not impaired?
You know what? Yes.
Okay.
It'll drop you down.
Okay, someone-
It'll drop you
Someone
down
in
to.
chat.
Huh?
I was saying earlier, someone in chat said that a natural 20 negates effort spent. Is that true?
Oh, maybe. I don't know, but we're not gonna get into that
Sorry.
right now.
Okay. continue.
So yeah, So Taeyeon, as you walk forward, kind of like pushing against Figment, who is struggling, you yourself sort of struggling your way forward, almost as if you were struggling against a physical force, sort of pushing, taking one slow step at a time as you reach towards Figment, towards Damian Ellis. You, as you're moving forward, you finally make contact with Ellis, and for a moment, Figment vanishes from Ellis's face, and he reaches up to you and he grabs you by the front of your environmental suit. He pulls you in and he says, "End it now."
I'm sorry, Damien, and I'm gonna send him away.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So all around him, that buildup of energy starts, that kind of aurora borealis sort of starts building around him. And in that moment, as you're pushing, you push, and then just as Damian Ellis and Figment are sent back to where they came.
I think I'm gonna like turn to Ada. I think I'm gonna take a nap. And it's gonna pass.
Both of them just catch you as you collapse, as you kind of like. So just so that for your awareness, it's your intellect that went down all the way, right? So
Yes.
you're just down to 1, and you're 1 point in your intellect pool right now.
Okay.
So you're not impaired. You just dropped down to 1 point in your intellect pool.
Yeah, so narratively I pass out, but I'm still okay.
Okay. So, back on Awakener, Bina, you reach the door to the hatch to the bridge. What do you do?
Can I get in?
No, it's sealed. It's sealed from the other side.
Okay, so guess what? I've spent a lot of hours in this ship. I have ship speak. I want Awakener to let me in.
Yeah, you just, in that moment, like,
I'm like panicking, like trying to like get in and just.
yeah, Awakener resists you for a moment,
Yeah.
and then you feel immediately like,
Come on.
you feel like it just stops. It just stops resisting entirely, and the door just, and standing there, you can see Abriel, who has a pistol pointed directly at you, and yeah, and she just immediately, like, she pulls it down. She says, "I thought you were."
It's mostly handled. Maybe not entirely. Are you guys okay? I want to take in the room. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, inside it's just you just see Abriel and Alma, who are inside. Alma, who is still at the controls. Fully not. She's like, not. She's just in the pilot seat, just sort of leaning back, like eyes glassy. She's like
Yeah.
not physically present at the moment,
Yeah.
or not
Plugged in.
mentally present, I should say.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Abriel just sort of looks at you. She says, "I don't know. She's been like this for a few minutes now."
That's okay. She's probably fine. Jade needs help right now.
Why? What happened?
I want to lead her up.
Huh?
Just come see, and he's right here, and I'm gonna just grab her and pull her out.
Yeah. She gets to there, looks at him, and she goes, "Damn it, kid!" And she like kneels down, and just starts kind of feeling vitals and all that. She looks at you and says, "I've got this. Go."
Okay. I'm gonna go into the back into the bridge, and I just kind of want to, like, since I'm a little bit tapped into Awakener right now, just like I want to see if I want to like put kind of like, she kind of like stands next to Alma and like kind of puts her fingertips on the console. I want to see if I can see what she's doing.
Okay.
Because her stuff moves too fast for me to like pick it up from a screen. I just want to see if I can intuit from Awakener itself what she's doing.
I'll say this. I'll just give you this one because it's. It seems like she has basically decided to like fully like mentally integrate with Awakener so as to more easily like less delay between you know.
Yes. She just is Awakener
Yes.
right now.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna pull up just like a screen, like where any command is. I'm not gonna like a notes app essentially, and just kind of be like, she probably knows we're here, but Bina's just gonna be like, we've got you. Like,
Yeah. She just sort of
I'm not gonna send it like to anything, but just like it's just there.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm just typing it to her.
almost immediately, she just sort of eyes open. She kind of leans forward and says, "You're back. Good.
Hey,
I can't pilot this thing like you. I had to go in deep. So,
it's okay.
Do you think you can take over?"
Go. It's good. I'm good. I've got it. What is this current situation?
She says, "Actually, a little easier now that we're not under fire. They hit us with a boarding craft, and it just detached a couple minutes ago. So
Yeah. We can do some weird stuff. I always forget. I don't think I fully grasp how weird the things we do
Yeah.
is, but it's okay. It's good. I think we need to go get ready to go pick everyone up again.
okay."
Right?
She stands
Go
up.
lay down.
She stands up out of the pilot's seat and just sort of.
I put my hands
Yeah.
out. Right?
Yeah. She says, "I think I'm good. Go sit." And she slides down into the co-pilot seat.
Okay.
Um.
Okay. I kind of give her shoulder a squeeze and then like swing up and over,
Yeah.
like kind of over the back of the chair, and like we're gonna sit down.
Yeah. She just.
And
Yeah.
get
She
it,
looks
get
over at
ready
you.
to
She
go.
says, "I'm really glad you're back."
Happy to be back. Conduit kind of freaked me out. Kind of a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of weird stuff happened. A lot to fill you in on. But for now, she's gonna
Okay.
kind of like get us moving.
Yeah. All right. So as you begin pushing for the conduit, you can see that indeed there is no longer a boarding craft attached to the exterior of Awakener. There is still a hull breach registering at the point of the airlock doors. It looks like they cut through both of them. But the kind of the integrity, like the field integrity, is still holding. So it's keeping all the environmental capacity inside.
Yeah.
So,
Don't want to take another hit, but we're good for now.
yeah. And you start making towards the conduit. So, go ahead, and we're gonna go ahead and cut back to the other side. Hi, Eric. Thank you so much for subscribing. So, we're gonna go ahead and cut back to. I think we're gonna go back and cut to Peach and CT. So where are you at right now? Would you have stayed in the same room?
I think CT would probably try to move us back to like the known exit of like the conduit, just so that it's a clear exit that we know.
If I'm not like in the same room with an artifact, can I still kind of tap back into that, or do I have to be
Yeah.
actively like?
You don't even need to be holding it at this moment. Like you can
Okay,
feel
yeah.
can feel still connected. Like you're tethered to those
Okay.
tendrils of the artifact. You are at this point essentially the focal point for that. You are directing it.
Yeah.
But you're no longer holding it.
Okay.
Are you all right, Miss Peach? You are dealing with a lot, I assume.
I'm gonna be great when all this is over.
All right.
Yes, I assume that it can be said for many things.
But I think I'm gonna have a hell of a headache.
I am here to assist you regardless of what you may need.
Thanks.
All right. As you begin making your way towards the exit, being led by the kind of bio-insectoid creature, the caretaker, leading you back in the direction you come, seeming to have intuited your intentions. They lead you kind of back in the way that you came. As you are approaching, you hear footsteps and the sound of something sort of like some halting footsteps. And as you turn a corner, you can see as both Ada Sprix is supporting Teon, sort of like helping him along, and he looks just beat to hell, like just exhausted and tired. Like some of the pallor has started to seep in around his scales. He just looks exhausted.
It's like weekly waves. Hey guys.
Hi.
feel
Should have
like
seen.
shit.
Should have seen the other guy.
Oh, yes, actually, Figment. He's back home. His home.
You sent him back.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
I am exhausted. Also, we have maybe like less than 10 minutes before the grenade I threw explodes.
Okay,
Um,
You don't have any juice left.
no, I was gonna say I'm barely standing, but I'm not really. Ada's helping me out.
Okay. Do we have? Can I try and connect to comms? Do we have comms
Yeah.
back up at this?
Yeah, you do.
Okay. I'm gonna ping the Awakener. We need a pickup crew as soon as you can get here.
We're on our way. Approaching now. Where do we
ETA.
need to?
Do we know how long? it
30
would take us?
seconds. I don't know. What am I? How far away are we?
It'll probably take you about 2.5 minutes or so.
Oh,
Okay.
2.5 minutes.
Okay.
Be there soon. Same drop point.
Yeah.
Same drop point.
Same drop point.
Okay.
How much time do we have before the charges will go off?
Charges are remote. We can set them off whenever we want. The only thing that is on the timer right now is the grenade I threw. Didn't realize there were more artifacts than explosives. So I had to think fast on that one.
That was good thinking on your part for that.
Thanks.
As you begin to see the entry point where you first boarded the conduit. As you start getting there, the caretaker that was leading you here just scuttles away, like speeds up and just goes directly past the entry point.
Where is it going? Where?
That is a very good question.
Ada looks around.
That's the
and she says,
direction that the other caretaker went, correct?
Think they found trouble?
Maybe.
Our priority should be attempting to remove as many living beings from this conduit as possible in the shortest amount of time. We should focus on our safety before we focus on any others, and then we may go search for any of the other caretakers.
We need to get this conduit out of service.
As you say that, you can feel like another shift in the conduit as the kind of the frequency of the kind of the thrumming that is and the vibrations that are running through the entirety of this thing, they intensify.
We don't have time. I need to do something now. So everybody needs to get off.
Taeyeon is going to, he's currently being supported by Ada Sprixi, is what he likes to call them. Plural Sprix is obviously Sprixi. And he's gonna just weakly pull them both in and give them both a kiss on the forehead and just say, I'll be right back. We brought the caretakers here. I'd like to get them off as well. And he's gonna weakly try and follow and chase after the caretaker.
Yeah, they nod and say, just come back.
Don't worry. I'm
Quickly.
And
you can't get rid of me that easily. And he's gonna start jogging down.
They merge once again, becoming just sort of singular Ada Sprix. They turn to you, Peach, and say, okay, what are we doing? What do you need us to do?
Wait, sorry, 1 second. So Ada didn't go with Taeyeon? Oh, okay. Well, I need to tap into the conduit, and honestly, I feel more comfortable if you all left, but if you refuse, then here as a support, maybe it could help.
She looks at CT and then looks back at you and says, absolutely not, under no circumstances.
We are here to assist you.
Hey. Okay. Then I guess we better get started.
Taeyeon, as you rush through the corridors, struggling to follow this this caretaker, you reach one of the rooms, the first room that is kind of the artifact chamber, and as you step in, you can see where the other caretaker is pulled kind of low to the ground, like almost laying prone, and you can see as Aramis is also not looking great. You can see where like on his skin there's large like burns almost, and as soon as you step into the room, you Taeyeon, your suit immediately starts registering high levels of radiation. As Aramis looks up at you, he says, "Sorry, there was a problem. The artifact, it interfered with the charge. I had to improvise." And he sort of gestures weakly to where you can see one of like the panels from one of the like tech apparatuses in the room has been pulled free, and you can see where like wires have been kind of pulled out, and he says, "Not dangerous by itself, but it'll I wired it so it'll, when exposed to the rest of the explosions, it should react."
Hey, well, oh boy, this is gonna be difficult, and he's gonna try and lift Aramis up and like get him like help him out with one arm around his shoulder, and I'm assuming the other caretaker is gonna help the other caretaker.
The other one walks over to the other one and just sort of like lowers themselves down next to the other one, and Aramis sort of like pushes you away weakly and just says, "No, you'll never make it dragging me."
Hey, we met for what, less than a day? Don't make assumptions. I'll find a way.
He says, "I won't leave them."
Oh, again, you met me for less than a day. No, we're not leaving them either. And I'm gonna try and like hobble over to. I'm gonna try and first move is Aramis? Am I pronouncing that right?
Aramis, yeah.
Aramis. I'm gonna try and move Aramis outside of the room. Just me to get away from the radiation. It's gonna be a bit hard for me to do anything with that.
Yeah.
Around.
He says, "Listen to me. I've already taken lethal amounts of radiation. This is what I knew was going to happen, or at least I was ready to do it. The Sulon hive is prepared."
Listen, if you want to die, at the very least die on Sulon, okay? We're taking you back. And I'm still going to keep
at that
taking
point,
him
he just
towards...
sort of collapses. He's unconscious at this point.
Okay, yeah, and he's going to just drag... He's going to drag them out of the room, go back and get the caretakers as well. And I'm going to use the last of my juice. And I'm going to use Traverse Worlds again to take all of us into the Awakener.
To the point that it's actually going to hurt you now?
Yeah, now it's absolutely going to hurt me. But yeah.
Okay. It takes you a bit, but by the you have to kind of go back, but at that point, Ada is aware of what's going on and goes to help you. Yeah, you, as Peach, you are sort of preparing yourself. Taeyeon and Ada go back and try to bring the caretakers. The other one, the one that you followed to them, helping as well. You finally all manage to collect by the entrance, and at this point, we're gonna cut back to Awakener as Bina. You are on the approach. You see the conduit looming large in front of you. Now, as you're approaching it, you can see where all of that energy is starting to kind of siphon off of it again as it starts collecting in. That thing is going to be activated any second.
Can I use decreased separation to get us there faster?
Oh, yes,
Like, push it?
100%, yeah.
I want to do
Yeah.
that.
We'll
the whole way there.
Yeah, we'll say for the sake of this, then just the way that this is going to play out
yeah.
is, like, since there's not really a roll to be made here, like, essentially what's going to happen is you just put everything into Awakener, into Awakener's engines.
I'm using my piloting skills, I'm using my eyeball skills,
Yeah.
I'm using my new asset skills, and I'm using my brain that has a little bit of a connection to Awakener right now. We are everything. We are juicing this.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Mason's going to position himself by the entrance where they're going to be filing through to provide any assistance at that point.
Okay.
When we connect.
Yeah. So as you pull up right on the same platform where you all got dropped off, you can see just inside where the others are gathered. And right now, Bina, it's taking when you landed here the first time, it was deactivated, but now with all of these energies here, it's taking everything you've got just to hold Awakener in place.
I do this for fun, baby. Hit me. Let's do it.
So as Peach, as you're standing there, you see as Awakener just sort of rushes down. You can see Mason currently, who's looking out at you from just a hole in the side of the hull where the airlock doors used to be.
Okay. I'm ready.
Ada.
How about you? And I'm gonna kind of look around.
Ada nods.
I am ready to assist.
Okay. Here. Take my hands. And I'm gonna hold a hand in each. Okay. Oh. This feels so weird. It's like I'm standing in every room at once. And Peach is gonna close her eyes and make connection with the thing.
You can feel as the conduit is just on the cusp of spooling up, and you hear once again, very briefly, you see Olim entity.
You can let go.
I won't forget what you did here.
He nods, and then he's gone.
Okay.
Run. Get onto the ship.
Yeah. You all begin piling out, running over to where Awakener is, and as Mason kind of helps you, kind of pulling you up one by one into the hold. And with that, as you're all aboard, Bina, you hear Patch's voice come over comms.
Everyone is safely aboard.
All right, let's get out of here. And I'm gonna we're blowing this journey off of it as a getaway, and also we are going to be blowing it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you get a fair distance away, you're all just sort of staring. Those of you who can see the conduit are sort of staring at it in anticipation. And then, in one single moment, you watch as all of the energies from the outside of the conduit just sort of pull in and collect in the center, and you watch as it opens. The conduit just creating that almost bubble-like iridescence, that tunnel that sort of bends space where it is. You can see as cracks almost start beginning to form in the middle of it, like seams in reality. And as that is happening, Taeon, you look down at your timer and you see as the timer ticks down 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's gonna be big.
You see one large explosion kind of from the top center of the conduit. And with that, Ada says, "There it is. Punch it, Tan."
It's gonna again just clumsy slap on the button.
Yeah.
to-
And you watch as suddenly, simultaneously, 5 simultaneous explosions around the edges of the conduit just. And you watch as the conduit for a moment, it holds its integrity, and then it just collapses in on itself. As the energy and the collecting in the center of it just pulls the conduit apart. The parts of it that were ripped apart by explosions just get pulled apart, pulled inwards, as the whole thing just like watching debris be sucked down a drain until there's nothing left. In that moment, Taeyeon, you watch as a sudden sprouting of this dark, vine-like energy, almost like a glitch in space, begins spreading slowly out from that location.
Cross that bridge when we get to it.
Ada puts her hand on your shoulder and just says, "We'll figure it out."
We've had eyes on it now. That's something.
So, as you pull away from this area, looking out at the fleet engagement that is still taking place, you watch as FTL engines spool up, as what is left of the various fleets begin to limp away, having been devastated by the engagement that took place. The unexpected arrival of the corporate vessels that opened fire on Commonwealth and Ascendancy alike. The sheer size and scope of resources devoted by both sides to this conflict. With the absence of the conduit, there is no longer any need for them to be here, as they all slowly jump into FTL, probably to lick their wounds from this incredibly devastating battle. In the final scene of the night and of the season, we're going to go ahead and cut to a little while later. As y'all are... This is maybe, I'd say probably a couple of hours later, as you have found yourselves a relatively safe location to just sort of hold out for a little while you assess damages to Awakener, make sure that it's actually safe to go any longer distances, and reassess. You all gather once again in the observation/meeting room, as Abriel is finishing her assessment. Says, "It's too early to tell, but he's stable. There's no telling what effect those serums are going to have on Jade. They were, from everything we learned from Dr. Amron, they were entirely untested. So, best we can do is just monitor. See what happens."
I can feel him in there.
That's a good sign.
A lot of him, or something. Kind of like gestures at Tan, but not. I don't know. Something's going on in there. He's gonna have to figure it out on his own.
He's a tough kid. I think he's gonna be okay.
You better.
I know.
Alma looks up and just says, "Are we?"
I'll be honest. I'm hungry. So I could. That's one thing, but we're all alive.
We accomplished the task assigned to us by Entity to an impressive and astounding degree, may I add.
We all still have our minds. That's a good thing.
Ooh, barely.
Body in our ship. I'll consider that a success. I think there's like a little bit of a, not like an aggressive side eye, but like a acknowledgement of like, oh,
Peach
we got almost still okay.
Peach is just gonna kind of look at everyone and say, Entity, at the last second, there was a change of plans. Entity and all of those versions of us, the ones that Taeyeon knew, they're not, I think they're gone.
Yeah, most likely.
They sacrificed themselves.
They helped me push back against Figment as well. So definitely owe a lot to them.
To ourselves, really. And not at the same time.
Hey, I mean, I did say you were legends, so you got to experience that.
And that thing, Entity, it was willing to sacrifice itself for this galaxy, this universe. That just seems really huge.
Alma leans forward and just says, from the sounds of it, it sounds like you all had a lot to do with that.
Shoes to fill.
Everything's gonna be different after this. I saw those fleets. There's no way the Commonwealth and the Ascendancy are going to recover easily from that. They committed a huge amount of their resources to this and had no idea what they were getting themselves into.
We might have a common enemy now.
Yeah. Those corporate ships showing up and wrecking shop probably didn't look good. A lot of people saw that.
But they're both vulnerable still right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to need to join forces. I don't think the corporations are going to stop, especially since it seems like Figment wasn't the real mastermind behind all of this anyway.
Add that to the to-do list.
Abriel stands up. She says, okay, as the doctor on this ship, I am prescribing all of you mandatory rest right now.
You gonna make
Badly.
me, Gabriel?
If I have to.
Okay, can you just not do this now? I'm going to sleep.
She points at you, Bina, and she says, repairs can wait. Diagnostics can wait.
What about food? Can I do that first?
Oh yes, please. I really could do
Fine.
some food.
Yes.
Okay. Amina starts pulling up the ration stores on her that are like on her terminal from the ship to try to like pick out something to make for everybody.
And looks at everyone like, did you know that sending interdimensional entity to another dimension really works your appetite? I didn't, but I know now.
You're gonna brag about that one for a while, aren't you?
I am
Yeah,
not
that
even
was
going
pretty
to
cool.
begin to try to unpack that. She stands up and says, I'm gonna go check on Jade. She looks over at you, as she's leaving the room, she looks at you, Mason, and she just says, glad you made it back. And then she just continues out.
I'm gonna turn to Bina when this happens and goes, I bet they're gonna get together in like a month, right? A month?
What?
No, wait, you don't. Oh, never mind. And he's just gonna like hurry up.
And she starts like looking back over the
Mason's just like walking towards the door. He's like, I can't hear you, but I can feel it. I can feel something happening. Eyes in the back of your head, you know? I'm going to my room.
I'm going to the mess hall. Whoever wants food, come with me. And she's gonna start walking down.
Alma is gonna say, I could use something to eat.
Yes, let's go. You can help me make it. I'm feeling dinioka, maybe some purple noodles, because I know Mason likes them. I don't know what else we have, but I think we can throw some weird stuff together. It'll be good. It'll be fun. Let's do it. And
Let us know when it's ready. We'll show up then.
Yeah. And the two of you file out of the room. Yeah.
I just want to turn to CG and say, do you think it's gonna be now? Do you think this is gonna be it?
Knowing both of them, I think there might still be a little bit of a few hurdles to overcome before anything is clearly said.
I mean, if we've proven anything today, I think there's no hurdle that we can't jump over.
Perhaps you are correct.
That's all I wanted to say.
All right. So, at this moment, as all of you standing at the edge of a galaxy that is changed beyond what you saw coming, at the end of a war for consciousness that never began, a war that you all prevented. In the wake of all of that, you all move about the ship, setting about the tasks of feeding yourselves, of resting, of decompressing from everything that just happened, trying to parse all of it. The problems of tomorrow are exactly that. And for just a few moments, in spite of everything, in spite of how much everything has changed, all of you take time to appreciate that at least whatever comes, whatever futures may come, whatever futures have been avoided, whatever beings still reside within your universe, manipulating the course of events, in this moment, it doesn't matter. Because at the very moment, all that matters is that you're all together. And so ends Season 2 of Infinite Horizon. Elsewhere,
Oh no. Okay.
far away from where Awakener currently is, well outside of your sensor range, there is the remnant of a battlefield. Chunks of ships destroyed in the largest fleet engagement in over 1,000 years drift by emptily through space. Evidence of that devastation everywhere. A still mostly intact station that has been swept by those who remained behind, whoever they might have been, lies empty. In the midst of all of this, where once there was enormous ring-like structure, there is instead an anomaly. Black, vine-like, spiky, looking for all the world like a glitch in the fabric of reality. From the center of it, there is a brief blip, and a small ship flies away from it and jumps to FTL. And that's where we end.
What the fuck?
What?
Fucking knew we couldn't be so lucky.
Oh my gosh.
Wait.
Yeah, you
All
said it.
Wait, okay, hold on. I was gonna make sure because I know you're gonna tell me what the ship is, obviously. But like the supers,
Yeah,
who cleared them out? Do we know? No. Okay. Okay.
Sorry, wait, you're referring to who?
I think
like,
you. Cause I think I
The
remember
hosts, like the group of
hosts.
supers that were
Nope, no idea.
Zion, Vix, and their team might have like done that in the clearing. Hopefully,
maybe. I don't know.
Well, that's
I
all.
was hoping. I was like, that's
That's all to be learned in season 3.
only saved so many people, you know.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I'm just
So, I am not going to spend a whole lot of time on our after stream announcements. All I will say is that if you're not in the Discord, you're going to want to be, because that's where you're going to hear about all the stuff we've got coming down the line between now and September when we come back with our TTRPG content. So stick around for that stuff. Once again, no Ramblemancy or Mass Effect stream this week, so that will not be happening. This is the last stream of this week, and we will be back next Friday with Ramblemancy. Or actually, no, next Thursday first with the Among Us stream.
Yeah.
So actually, so all of us, as well as the cast of In Too Deep and John, will be playing some Among Us and just doing some space murder.
And John.
So,
yeah.
yeah, that's all I've got for now. I think we're just gonna sort of slide by all this unless anyone has anything they want to go back into. All right.
Nope.
Good. It's good.
Well, everybody.
I'm stunned to silence.
Oh, follow Remy.
Follow Remy on
Twitter.
Twitter.
That's it.
Yes, do that. You must.
Happy birthday, Remy.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Wait, what the fuck?
Happy birthday,
Is your
Okay.
Yeah.
Happy
thank you,
birthday,
birthday,
Remy. What the
Remy.
hell? What? Happy birthday, Remy.
You gave me
Did it
permission
just
to
become
say
your
happy birthday on
birthday?
stream a week ago, so happy birthday, Remy.
Yeah.
You won't hear the last of this.
Well, now you all have to follow Remy,
Now
okay?
you have to.
And now you all have to follow Remy.
It's a birthday present.
All right, everyone. We're gonna go. This went pretty late, so we're gonna go. Thank you all so much for coming and hanging out. Everybody who subscribed, who threw some bits, everybody who followed. Thank you so much. We will see you hopefully next Thursday for the Among Us stream. But if not, we will see you the next time you decide to come roll with us, and Infinite Horizon will see you in September. Good night and good zone, everybody.
Love you all.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.